more respect towards towards NSG. So maybe we'll see a bit more of a clean game from Click. Shane, we didn't. I don't think we got up to the 2 kills a minute just, but
No,
we
I
were
think we're
close.
just under. Yeah.
Yeah,
But we did have more than 1 kill a minute, so I think that's pretty good.
yeah, no,
It's more of a
extremely
clown fiesta than
bloodthirsty.
we're kind of used to,
Yeah, no, extremely,
especially
extremely
for Click.
bloodthirsty. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. It was really hard to actually like think of what was happening and try and get into the team's heads and see what their
Hmm.
next plan was and everything. But Bendix really being our highlight player from that last game as well. When things got tough, he was their rock. He managed to move in and help them secure the Baron after they had wasn't like necessarily lost the fight, but there were quite a lot of members down from either side.
Hmm.
And it's great for them to be able to pick that up. They got a few kills off it as well, and he was the only one that was able to go into that side lane and really deal with that Nasus when things got a little bit late. And without that, I think they would have been struggling a lot more than they did.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true because we even saw that Akers was struggling to try and respond to Hume in that bottom side. We saw him get solo killed with the pop of the Ghost Blade, and even the Gnar against the wall to try and buy himself a little bit of space, a little bit of time to try and get away.
Mm.
He just once he gets out of the CC, he just pops his Ghost Blade. He's like, "You're not going anywhere, Akers. You're mine. I'm just gonna stack you." He did, and then we saw several times Bendix in that bottom side looking for to split push, and then there was just nothing that Hume could do to try and respond to him. He'd pop his ultimate a little bit early sometimes, or he'd just get caught in the petrifying gaze. He's also grounded, so he can't flash away, even if he has it off of cooldown. So I think Bendix, he did what he needed to do to try and carry his team to victory.
Yeah, it was a good call to be putting him down there. Like we said, he was the only one that was able to deal with him, and he did manage to get a couple of outplays onto Hume. Um, but still, I think the NSG can still look at that game. Most of the players with their heads held
Mm-hmm.
high. I think rest in peace DFG had a pretty good game as well. There are a couple of moments that were a bit iffy, but you saw him get the solo kill onto Bendix. That's still going to spur him on and give him a lot of confidence going into this game as well. Especially they will be on red side this time, so they will get the counter pick. So hopefully, I mean. Uh, Bendix got the counter pick in that matchup as well, so
Mm-hmm.
good on him to be able to go in there and get the solo kill, especially. Um, I think I think we'll see a similar sort of draw coming out of Click though. I think we'll expect to see most of them on similar champions again. I will expect the Silas to be banned out again, although Previous still had a pretty good game on the Jarvan.
Yeah, it was pretty decent, but I think that they need to change some things up. Not on the side of Click, because I think their draft was pretty standard, pretty good. But what would you like to see NSG do to change up their draft a bit, make it a bit better, make it a bit more of a solid draft? Whereas it felt like it had a little bit of like there was some weaknesses in it that were just inherently seen to by the comp that was drafted by Click.
I mean, the wacky parts about that draft ended up being some of the best bits. Obviously, the Karthus wasn't great. The pathing from it sometimes was quite questionable, and Previous really managed to punish that quite a lot. But the Nasus obviously was their win condition for that game. I don't think
Hmm.
anyone else. If they were going to win that game, we wouldn't see it coming from anyone else apart from maybe Rip and Peace DFG. But he was doing his thing going into games and going into fights, sorry, and getting the kills that he needed to. But he wasn't necessarily carrying the game. Hume was the carry potentially in that split push, and there were opportunities you saw when he could have done it. It could have been a really good backdoor play at some point when people were dancing around Baron potentially, um, but it's hard to say when the people who are picking the meta stuff don't necessarily do so well, and then you see someone go on the Nasus and end up being like 6-3, 1v9ing apart from the Cassiopeia. So it's difficult to it's difficult to say.
It is quite difficult to say, all right, because I'm just thinking it through there, which is why it took me a minute to kind of respond. I was just thinking, is it because of the kind of wacky build that came out from Hume on this Nasus? Is that the reason why he couldn't respond to Bendix, or is it just inherently that Cassiopeia should be able to 1v1 the Nasus without much trouble at all?
Phase Rush is just really, really good into Nasus. It just negates his W quite a lot in that matchup. The Miasma is great for slowing down the enemy as well. Nasus is quite difficult when you CC him down, and it's very difficult for him to get onto people as well. Obviously, he is able to pump out a huge amount of damage. Like if he was getting onto Bendix, he would two-shot him, especially when his Conqueror was built up with his ultimate and his Q stacks, but we are into Champ Select now, so I'm just going to move us along.
We are indeed, and now to see where they decide to put the priority. Usually heavy priority put onto Bendix, and they did that in the last game. Responsive priority being put onto RIP and Peace DFG, with the LeBlanc being taken away now. So do you expect the similar kind of bans coming out from both sides for this game?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's still smart to take away certain aspects because NSG will look at the last game they had as a pretty decent win by all accounts. Obviously, you didn't win the game, but you managed to do pretty well. The Jarvan being taken away, I think, is good. I would expect to see a Sylas ban, again, just to the flexibility of the pick.
Oh!
The respect. They don't want to deal with it. Maybe they've been doing a bit of scouting on him. Maybe it's just like a really, really big pick for him. Like we say, it was the win condition for them last game, so fair enough. If you've got bans to waste, by all means, take it away from something you don't want to play against.
And Akker's Gnar being taken away as well, so we can't put the priority on that either. The response to that Nasus ban. Where would you like to see the early priority in this draft coming from both sides?
Sylas,
obviously.
Yeah.
Sylas.
I was about to say the Sylas being left up. I think is a bit of an oversight. I think I would rather Jarvan being locked in there than like Sylas, for example. I think Sylas is much more dangerous in his flexibility and also just as a pick at the moment in the jungle. I would expect it to be going into the jungle onto Pravis. He's played it before and he's had great performances, but yeah, I think that's a bit of an oversight to not to leave the Sylas up as a first pick.
He loves the Sylas. He played it the last time it was left up. He dominated on that pick. I think it was against Viperio, if I remember correctly. And he just destroyed on it, and the response will be the Rek'Sai. How do you feel about the Rek'Sai into the Sylas?
I know that's a big pick for Kaibet. I remember I think he played at the most recent Insomnia, and I did a bit of scouting on him. I think that's a pretty good pick for him. I'm not entirely familiar with the jungle matchup and how it goes, but I suppose it's fair enough to just try and pick comfort for themselves. And again, speaking of comfort, I think the Jhin on OSP, pretty good pick. Not sure how it is in the meta at the moment. I know it received buffs recently, but we'll see how he plays it out.
We'll have to wait and see, especially with Lucian being an early game AD carry in the hands of Cass. So if they can get an early game sort of aggressive support in the hands of Techie Fiend, it might be a little bit difficult for OSP since Jhin is so low mobility. But Cassiopeia will be picked up by Bendix once again, throwing down the gauntlet. Will he respond with the Ari? Do you think that that is a matchup that you can take once again?
I don't think he'll want to. I think he'll try and do something else to try and counter the Cassiopeia a little bit. I don't know if they can flex that. Cassiopeia, although it is a mid lane pick, it can be played in other areas of the map. You can look to XL, for example, playing it in the bot lane on Sendo. And Camille being locked in, actually, was banned in the last Champ Select. It's a big pick for Hume, and hopefully he can be another threat in the split push on that pick.
Hopefully he will, and we have seen it before in the jungle position. However, with the Rek'Sai being locked in for Kaibet, pretty obviously going for Hume on the top side. And what would you like to see responded to for Akkers into the Camille? Something maybe like the Fiora?
Bit of skill. I'd rather just take something that just kind of shuts it down. Like, it'd be better to take something like the Poppy if it's not banned. I'm surprised that maybe Hume is just like so confident on the pick that he doesn't feel like he needs to ban away counter picks to it, or the Jax. Yeah. I think it's smart to ban away the Jax, especially with his position in the meta at the moment. I spoke earlier about Akali and Aatrox being removed slightly from the meta, and that's opened things up. Jax has popped his head in there a little bit on the current patch, so good thing to be taking that away, and it is a good counter into the Camille.
Who doesn't love a good Jax game where he just uses his E, just the
Counter
counter
Strike.
strike
Yeah.
that just destroys everyone, gets the stun. When you have your Spirit Sojourn as well, you just pop your counter strike literally every 2 or 3 seconds, and it just feels bad for whoever you're playing against.
Jin actually, I just seen, yeah, is actually Caitlyn as her proxy pick. So I think that's a better pick. I think that's a better pick. Caitlyn's been popping up a lot as another one of these top ADCs. She's not on the same level as Zaya, most people would agree, but she's still pretty strong in her own right at the moment. And Renekton being taken there, nice, strong, aggressive early pick to be putting into the hands of Akers there into the Camille matchup. I mean, I'm a big Camille main. I don't mind that. I don't mind the matchup too much. It should be Renekton favored, especially in the early game, obviously. Camille will outscale it, but if Akers can, again, it will be like we said last game, falling into the shadows a little bit from the rest of the league, not standing out too much, and not having a great game last game. Hopefully, he can show himself on this early game pick, and maybe if he gets a little bit more jungle attention from Pradius, he can really explode in this lane.
That Katarina, do you think it's a legit Katarina? Would you like to see Katarina to Cassia?
They just swapped it out, so I assume so. I mean, Rip in Peace DFG, he's been a really good player for NSG so far. I think they're just doing their best to give him what he wants.
From production just yet on that, so it looks like it will be the Katarina legitimately against the Cassiopeia.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
which is interesting. We never see a Katarina in competitive play.
Yeah, I will just bring us back into Champ Select just for reference so that we can look at the picks again and just talk through it a little bit more. It is obviously just going to be players going through the motion there. I'm gonna have to try and remember what the picks are to try and think about the drafting phase now. I would expect Pravius to be putting a lot of attention into this top side. I think you will want to be giving Akers enough resources to dominate his lane, and it's somewhere that Pravius can go to try and pick up a few kills himself. Thinking about that with the Sylas, try and think about ultimates on the enemy team that he can steal. Obviously, you got the Camille in the top lane. Who was their jungler?
Their jungler was Rek'Sai.
Rek'Sai. That's an okay ultimate to steal, I suppose. And then they had the Katarina. Maybe it deals loads of damage.
It does do decent scaling with the AP from Sylas, and Pravius also is well versed in playing Sylas, so it should be decent enough. Hopefully. Yeah. And then Lucian as well. He has pretty good scaling with his culling for AP.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no, that's not too bad actually.
Then you have Pyke. You can actually just steal everyone's ult on the side of NSG, and you're pretty happy with whatever you get.
Oh, the Pyke ulti. Actually, yeah, no, that'll be a pretty good one to steal. Going back to this matchup though, just talking a bit more broadly. Spoke about it earlier. It is really the David versus Goliath matchup. It really nearly was. Like, if David was the Nasus in the last game, Goliath was Bendix. Unfortunately, it didn't happen last game. Maybe Hum on a pick that he's really comfortable on will be able to have a similar performance. But we'll have to see. I still don't expect it to be as close as it was last game or to go in NSG's favor. I think that Click will have woken up a little bit more now, but hopefully NSG, with the confidence that they've built off of that game one, will come back and they'll say, look, you know, we nearly beat them last game. We had some pretty decent gold leads in certain lanes. We had win conditions. There were ways that we could have won that game. They'll look into that and go into this game with a lot more confidence than I think they would have had at the start of the series maybe.
Now, this Cassiopeia into Katarina matchup, it feels very Cassiopeia favored from what I see looking at it because of the miasma. Because you can't just shun Po to your dagger if you just have the miasma in your face. And since Bendix performed so well in the Cassiopeia last game, I feel like if it's kind of a weak point of the draft.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not entirely sure how, like, the because Katarina's obviously spinning in her ultimate. How does the ultimate work? Know.
Because sometimes you can just spin to win as the Garen, and if you CC him, he's still doing his damage. And I don't know if they patched out where you can Zanyas and still do your damage.
I assume they would have done that for something like a Katarina or ulti. I'm more thinking like, I assume it's just like whatever way Katarina was facing before she pops her ulti. So as long as you
Oh
keep
yeah, I'd
track
say
of that, then it
say
should
that.
be
Yeah.
okay. Um, but yeah, I'm not too sure about that. A lot of aggression though you can see in the picks for NSG. Instead of going for the late game that they were last game, they still had a little bit of scaling with the Camille into the Renekton matchup, but
Hmm.
definitely a bit of a different approach coming out here. Lucian Pike, very aggressive. Katarina, pretty aggressive. Rek'Sai, early game, aggressive jungler. Um,
All
me,
out aggression. That's all they want to do.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, Camille can even take it to Renekton in the early game if he has jungle assistance. And in that 2v2, I think in that top 2v2, we'll be seeing a decent amount of action. I mean, there's lots of places that both junglers can go to on this map to try and make things happen. Um, I'll expect Previous, like I said, to be putting some decent resources into Akkers, but there's multiple avenues for him to go in and try and increase the lead for his team. I mean, you've got Leona in the bot lane. Cassiopeia is maybe the only one that you maybe not ganking because Katarina has a pretty decent escape as well, but we'll
Hmm.
see.
So, do you think that Previous might decide to pay a visit to the bottom side and maybe Kaiba as well? Because this bottom side feels very volatile to me because of the fact that Leona can go so aggressive early and it's just this frontline beefy tank. And
Hmm.
then once she has all the CC down or some of the CC down, you can just put your little snap trap underneath someone's feet and then you can get the additional damage there.
Hmm.
But then on the other side, you have Lucian Pike who can be really aggressive really early as well.
Yeah, I'll be expecting to be seeing a lot of action in this bot lane. Maybe we'll see, maybe this game we can get the 2 kills a minute. I pray, I hope.
Hopefully. Hopefully. But if one team gets a decent amount further behind as the other one, then we might just get 1 kill a minute or maybe even less. It might be a little bit of a slower paced game.
Yeah, again, I think that I've said it multiple times now, but I think this will wake Click up a little bit more. I
Hmm.
think they'll go into this game respecting their opponent a lot more, and take things a little. Hopefully, we don't see another Caitlyn OSPE into tower. Hopefully, there's no lags from
We're
my
watching you,
computer as
OSP,
well as
alright?
his. Yeah, we are watching you. This time OSP, if you get a triple kill, I promise it's going to be on stream. I promise it won't happen again.
He's just not gonna get a triple kill. He'll get like a double and it'll be okay, but he won't get a triple, which is really impressive.
Hmm,
So
yeah,
it's all just because he's being watched this time.
certainly. We are very close to the end of that spectator delay, so we'll be getting into
I
game
love the
very
spectator delay,
soon.
don't you? We're sitting here talking for 3 minutes, whereas we have the first 3 minutes of the game done if this was done on Tournament Realm or something.
Mm. Oh
I
well,
love casting on Tournament Realm because there's no delay at all. It's just straight in.
straight into that game, and we can talk about the summons a little bit. I suppose you got 3 TPs coming out into Click, showing that they can roam a little bit more. They have a bit more of that late game scaling, and it's going to help, especially in the laning phase as well. If you're going into such an aggressive pick for the Caitlyn, she's
Mhm.
going to be able to pop back and TP back in if a trade goes very poorly for her. Um, but in this mid lane as well, you would expect to see a teleport on the Cassiopeia, but that ignite will matter in these trades that Katarina will inevitably go for. And we are into game, thankfully, so hopefully I'll get that up very soon.
We are indeed. And there's something that I'd like to point out as we do get into the game. It's that RIP and Peace DFG has decided to opt in for the Dark Harvest on the Katarina. Something that we rarely
Ooh,
see.
interesting. I mean, he saw last game and he saw how many kills were going on, and he thought, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a 200 IQ move here, and I'm gonna take the Dark Harvest. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be the same this game. They are. It looks like they're going in for an invade actually on the bot side. They should have just all taken Dark Harvest, but then maybe that would have been a bit obvious.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
They're feeling for something here. Can they find and catch out OSP? Has the hook available from the pike, one has to assume. Yeah, we'll spot him out.
Bit too far away, I think, maybe. Oh,
Oh,
blows the flash. And it is an E start from Caitlyn, so a little unfortunate there for him.
I think that's fine though. Well, not for OSP, but I think that's fine for NSG. That's a start that you're decently happy with.
definitely.
They both flash for flash. It's a
Mhm.
flash on a Caitlyn as well, so a low mobility carry.
Minions
So
have spawned.
it's good to have that blown early.
Yeah, no, and Pike will have a decent amount of escapes built into the rest of his kit, so the flash shouldn't matter too much.
Just hunting for something here on this bottom side. Can they find anything? Nope. Bone Skewer not gonna be thrown out. Gonna make sure that they have the cover of this brush. They feel like they're just waiting in that brush and do not get a face check it, which is always smart.
Both top laners starting up on this top side. It will be interesting to see where they go and where these 2v2s or possibly 3v3s end up occurring. Ooh, nice keep from Katarina there to be able to pick up all three.
Pretty standard so far from both sides, starting off on the blue and red buff respectively.
I will point out Akers has gone for the PTA build, so he's going to have a lot of potency in this early game. I think that's the right choice, given the comps of both teams, especially on NSG's side. Not really any tanks to look at there to be taking the Conqueror into. It's going to be a big trade coming out there.
Slice and dice. Came down to just about a third health, almost half.
That's not too good for Hume. He's already had to pop one of his corrupting potions. Fortunately, he at least has corrupting pot, and he hasn't taken like Doran's blade with one health pot. Then he really would have been screwed.
He doesn't want to go that aggressively this early.
I
Nice way of building up in the top side.
Yeah, I think it's good that Akers needs to show a lot of
Mid
aggression.
lane though, Bendix has to flash away. Knight comes down as well, dashes forward with the Shun Po. This could be first blood, flashes forward, just finds the dagger. First blood for RIP.
More action in the bot lane as well.
Forward, yeah, finds the stun here. Previous should be going down. Cass picks up that kill and looking for more here. Top side, Human in a lot of trouble. We'll trade some damage back with Hex next week.
Nice early game coming out from NSG again, and they take the lead here.
They're looking for the regank the mid lane as well. Kybit is there. Flash knockup. That's good. Bendix doesn't have the flash available. We'll have to try and get away. One auto attack will do it. Katarina now 2-0 now in the bot lane. We're getting a Clown Fiesta like you wanted, James. And Techie Fiend, he is the target here. Sentinel taking a lot of poke damage. That shot will still come through.
They heard my prayers. We're gonna get that two kill a minute game. But no, another rough early game from Bendix though. Already 2 deaths in the first 4 minutes of the game. Both of the summoners are blown, and it's gonna be really scary for him in this lane now going up against Katarina. Just picked up the gun, not the gunblade, the Hextech revolver. There we go.
Now Kybit is onto Previous here. Has a level up. Bot lane looking to rotate now as well. Will manage to pick up that Rift Skull for himself. Nothing that Kybit can do to really respond without the rotation of his bot lane. Back to standard lanes at this point, but it's great to see the Katarina ahead so early, especially when she's gone for the Dark Harvest, and it's all down to Kybit giving this early jungle pressure.
You hate to see it. The jungle has wasted so much time in bot there, and it's just not going to amount to anything. And you see Rek'Sai going for another kill in mid. He's going to hop over the wall.
We'll get the knockup as well. Bendix still doesn't have his flash, down to half health. Katarina shampoos forward, finds the dagger as well, but Previous in the bottom side, abscond, abduct, will not find anything. Bendix, now throws out a Q,
Got a decent amount of speed
dashes
there.
forward. Yeah, but the bot lane and jungler is nearby as well. Hume just trading in the top side as well. In comes the stun.
Nice little trade coming out from Hume there to get a bit of pressure in the lane. It will force Akers to back, and he will have to blow his TP, but Hume has already blown his TP, so still not looking too great for him there.
And already Cass is 10 CS up almost over OSP. Yes, OSP has the teleport available, so he'll be able to teleport back, and we'll be able to negate most, if not all, of that CS difference, but they have the pressure in this lane early.
Sorry. Yeah, certainly. It's
It's
I feel
not
bad.
2 kills. It's not 2 kills a minute. Just call me when.
Not 2 kills a minute. I'm a bit bored, you know. There's nothing really going on here, but No, a lot of early aggression going in from NSG here, and that's exactly what you want to see with the comp that they have here. 2 kills on that to that Katarina, rip in peace DFG, one of their better players as well. It's great to see him getting a lot of gold in this matchup.
Yeah, Techie Fiend off to the side here. Bendix looking to go aggressive. Yeah, previous there. Lone will not connect onto anyone. We'll just have to dash away.
Rek'Sai miming on this top lane as well. May catch Akka's trying to back here. He does have 6, so it's still going to be pretty hard if they try to go for something. No, he's just going to back off.
Now, here comes the invade, potentially from previous, and no, just gonna ward down, make sure that he can spot out Kaibet if he goes around towards that mid lane. Good use of the vision, though.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning as well that Mountain Drake is the first Drake of this game, so we'll help them out with those neutral objectives and with the enemy towers as well. Especially when you have Caitlyn for OSP with the headshots now and doing damage to the tower. Out comes the Death Lotus, a lot of damage onto Bendix. Doesn't have his level 6 himself just yet, but Poison taken down on the health bar of RIP in peace.
Rip in peace playing a little bit on the edge here. He's going to
Yeah,
go back
but
in for it.
he's just gonna go down, shut down gold now over to Bendix. That is not what you want, but Ignite also expended.
Just a little bit over aggressive from Rip in peace GFG there. He's trying a bit too hard, but you do see Silas moving up this top lane to back him up.
He is gonna try and come in here. We'll manage to get away with the hook shot though. That well done with the flash.
Yeah, just manages to get out there. As long as you hold the hook shot from Camille in there, you're normally always safe from ganks when you go up for for aggressive plays like that. But no, good for Previous to go in there just to back up his laner as well.
Now NSG have started off onto this first Drake of the game, which is the Mountain Drake. No response really so far coming out from Flick. Previous towards that mid lane as well, so he will not be able to respond. It might be a Miracle Steal coming out from OSP with Piltover Peacemaker. Nope, not quite enough, a little bit too early.
Not quite. No, and it's great for them to be able to take that with the early aggression they've managed to put into the mid lane and bot lane. If they did lose that, it would have been pretty bad, especially not just in general. But we saw last game how quickly Cassiopeia is able to take those barons, especially when she picks up a couple of Mountain Drakes. So.
Yeah, good stun comes through from Akka's. Hume just really wants to go super aggressive in this top lane.
He needs to be careful though. Akka's does have the ulti. It's not too difficult for him to go in for a dive potential here. He's going to heal up a lot there from that.
Just gonna get a little bit of chip damage down versus Akka's here with a Hex sweep. And yep, caught out in the enemy jungle, has to flash away, uses his own ultimate against him. You cannot be doing things like that, Kyber.
Yeah, a little bit too over aggressive there and gets punished by Previous and Bendix. Good play out there.
Just a little bit overzealous as stun comes through. Yep, stun will be responded to. Out comes the calling. OSP, death from below will take him out.
Great play from Techie Fiend to be able to come out with something. Great double stun. I mean, they managed to get the...
Outside. Just gonna be a little bit of trading.
Yeah, good to be able to manage to hook shot out. So, see, more aggression. Here we go.
This is exactly what you wanted. It's not as aggressive as in the last game, but once they start to get some items, maybe we'll start racking up those kills. And it was good from Previous to stay still so that the Void Sense wouldn't, or the Prey Seeker I should say, wouldn't spot him out, but Pike towards his mid lane now. We'll be able to spot him out. He misses his Ether Blade, so we'll not be able to find a connection.
Yeah, good escape. I will point towards Techie Fiend. He's been the only, now with Trucker Phrase not being in this semi-final, he is now the only member that has been there since week 1. And as well as Rip in Peace DFG having some pretty good performances, he's always been there having a pretty decent time. He did have Casper previously with him, really good ADC for this tournament. But he's still managing to do pretty well without him and with his new duo partner Kaz.
Not doing too badly at all. Has the Ninja Tabi available as well, just to negate some of the damage coming out from the Caitlyn. Building towards that Essence Reaper, it seems, for the Lucian, just for a little bit of late game insurance, I think.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think the pressure is just sort of off at NSG. Maybe that's why they're feeling so happy to just go in and make these aggressive plays. You know, people wouldn't have expected, especially after, you know, the first few weeks, them to come out and make top 4. They were, you know, not even in contention for it. So, I mean, they've already overachieved at this point by most people's standards. So, it's nice for them to be able to just come in here, no pressure environment, and do as best they can.
Yeah, and as the underdog, it doesn't really matter if you go down. The shot comes through, will manage to find the stun as well. Miasma comes out, just dashes away with the Shampoo, but from the top side, Akker's in a lot of trouble. Void Seeker comes out, and we'll just get him into the baby cage and take him down.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive there. Maybe it would have been better to just chill out and wait a little bit longer. But we just see action all across the map, and Bendix is going to manage to take out the solo kill.
I think he walked back because he just assumed he was dead. Flash forward now from Bendix. Out comes the Chain Lash. Ace in the hole comes through as well. And Cass just about survived. Kaibit takes Bendix out. And comes the Soul Flight as well. But do they want to go for this fight? Out comes the Cena Blade. OSP off to the side. Kaibit down to half health here. Not able to find any kills.
Pravius is moving in there. He's eager to go and pop that Pike ulti on one of those low health targets.
Can he get it onto Cass now? No, Kaibit comes through now. Pravius goes golden just to buy a little bit of time. We'll find the kill onto Kaibit. Depth from below will not connect. Techie Fiend takes Pravius down on this Pike. Sentinel flashes away, but Hume is there waiting. We'll take him out.
Great little run from Hume there to be able to come up and clean things up a little bit more. It was a great stopwatch from Pravius, but goes a little bit too aggressive, tries to pop the ulti in and try and get multiple kills and gets punished for it.
And it looks like one of the closest early games that we've seen in a while where Click is in the game and they're the ones that are on the back foot.
Yeah, no, I mean, I honestly expected something a little different, but they're managing to still come out here and they're doing pretty well.
Bendix in a lot of trouble. Death Lotus. He takes a few tower shots, just about survives though. Take a feed off to the side just in case, but he does once again find the solo kill.
It's just a back and forth matchup in this mid lane, and I mean, we said that Rip and Peace DFG will be feeling feeling much more confident now. We've seen how that confidence has broken him a little bit in the 1v1, but it's definitely allowing him to go in there and still take the fights when he wants to and when he needs to be able to get these advantages.
Pravius now there just to see to the wave, and looks like that Cloud Drake has been started off by Kaibit. As we go towards the top side, Akker's looking for a fight here. Pulled back with the Bone Skewer now on the bottom side. Sentinel not that tanky at this point. Akker's dominance has been popped. Hume just go walk it out.
Yeah,
so really want to fight dominance popped Renekton really.
Yeah, then just obviously that will manage to help him out a little bit. Both of these top laners though are so close to their power spikes. You can see Camille's about to hit the trifle, so
yeah, Bone's Cure will connect, and OSP just hit X-Max the spot. Double kill now for Techie Fiend. He is looking comfortable. Now 11-4 in favor of NSG versus Click, our undefeated team.
He is looking like a monster on this Pike pick. He is solo carrying that bot lane there.
Now Pravius in a bit of trouble here. Bendix off to the side now, but Katarina hot on the heels, and out comes the Petrifying Gaze, but that will be for naught. That will be the double kill now for RIP in Peace DFG.
What is happening to Click?
7 stacks of Dark Harvest. That last game was meant to light a fire underneath them, show them that they are not immortal, that they can be taken down and brought to the edge. And now we're at 15 minutes in. They are 7,000 gold behind NSG.
I mean, credit to NSG, they've managed to show this early aggression and they've managed to outplay the opponents pretty well. I mean, we've praised this great jungle duo in the past, Pravius and Bendix, but they just don't seem to be on the same page today, or in this game specifically, and I don't know what's going wrong with them.
This is a game where Pravius has gotten his coveted Silas. Bendix not doing as well as he did in the last game on Cassiopeia, and Akker's, yes, he doesn't have his Gnar, but he's not a bad laner. He's one of the solid solo laners for Click. It's just doesn't seem to be showing up in this game anyone on the side of Click right now.
Yeah, no, so Renekton has picked up the Spear of Shojin now, so you will have a nice little spike with that, but similarly for Camille, she's just picked up the Triforce. She's got Triforce Ninja Tabi now. It's a pretty decent spike for her. I will still expect Renekton to be able to take that out with the spear spike, but it's only a matter of time now before that Camille's going to start winning that side lane.
Death from Below was stolen away now by Previous, so he has a little bit of kill pressure on his side, and as we were discussing there, Shelly was taken, the Rift Herald was taken down by Kybit, so they can use that to get a little bit more damage onto one of these tier 1 towers yet to go down. Actors flashes forward, doesn't find the stun just yet, looking for it, manages to find the slow, great slow with that Hextech Gunblade to make sure that he cannot find the stun he was looking for.
And we question that Katarina pick, but he's really showing what he can do on that.
Flash knockup. Katarina is there, Death and Below, not going to do much of anything. Kybit finds his second kill of the game, yet another Dark Harvest stack going over to the Katarina. We also questioned the Dark Harvest, but it's working out really, really well. And Petrifying Gaze comes through. Death Lotus will find the kill once again. Now 6 and 2. And Akers, he's just going to be solo killed underneath the tower.
The momentum that NSG are producing right now is insane. It's just kill after kill after kill after tower after Rift Herald after Dragon. They're starting to just run away with the game here. I mean, the gold lead just keeps increasing, and Techie Fiend another game with a great stun.
So aggressive, will manage to flash away from the Solar Flare, and Sentinel, he should be going down here, will be taken down eventually, but looking for revenge. Kybet will eventually be taken out, but will get the kill onto Previous as well, and Katarina just swoops in for the cleanup.
I mean, at least you get some decent shutdowns there for Click. Previous and OSP getting a decent amount of gold into their pockets, but it's looking pretty bad right now. 10k gold behind, only at 18 minutes now. You can see the carries on NSG starting to really hit their spikes now, and I'm really worried for Click, honestly. I did not expect this.
Hume looking for a pick onto Akers here, has Katarina nearby, Death Lotus comes through as well, but Akers is surviving for so long. Hume almost taken out, 2 versus 1, doing really well to survive for so long and do so much damage. But can NSG hand Click their first game loss of the regular season?
The only thing I'll be worried about is that, this team, it's constantly had players subbed in and out. I don't think they will have had a decent amount of practice to play together to really start closing out these games. I mean, they're so far ahead, a team with a decent amount of experience and a decent amount of macro knowledge will be able to play this out and close out the game pretty soon with this ridiculous kind of lead. But Click, maybe, if they can hold things out, wait for Bendix and OSP to scale and get their items, maybe can hold out a little bit more and try and take it on into the later game. Fortunately for them, the Drakes haven't been, infernals and mountains. It's been a cloud and an ocean, so it's not too bad for them at the moment.
For a pick here, pulled back. That's a nice combo. OSP still alive, wailing on the backside. Goes through with the Void Rush. Or PMP's in a lot of trouble here. Will manage to dash away with the Shun Po, just about getting out, trading 1 for 1.
I mean, that's the best outcome you could hope for. Just a 1-for-1 kill to stall things out a little bit more. The Rip and Peace GFT will have to go back and. Oh no.
Yeah, good trading. Akers will dodge away from the Death from Below, but Sentinel, so close. Double kill. Will he find the triple? He won't manage it. Now goes Golden on the side of Techie Fiend. Will go down X-Max spot of his own with Chain Lash, and Bendix gets the kill credit.
That's the play you want the gold to be going on, though. Bendix, he saved them last game. I think he's going to have to try and dig himself out of this rut he's managed to put himself into early game and do the best he can to scale up and be a force for them. Previous still has a decent amount of gold in his pocket. He's still going to be dealing a decent amount of damage if he gets his combos right and he steals right ultimates in fights, but OSP still...
Just dodges underneath the tower and just gets a Death Lotus to the face. 8 and 2 on this Katarina coming up trumps for the side of NSG, and it's a pick that we thought it was a little bit weird, very off meta, not something that we see a huge amount of, but it's really, really working out for NSG, and if they manage to find this game win, then really it will be down to not just teamwork, but also down to this off-meta pick that's just working out so well for them, and they're onto the Baron. If they take this, it might make their mark onto this game completely.
Yeah, and we got another. Oh, the backup. That's a really important ultimate to be wasting there, and they'll take the Baron as well. I mean, they didn't. The Katarina wasn't respected during laning phase. She wasn't respected during skirmishes, and now she's not being respected in terms of her pick potential. She's just constantly picking up these kills in lane skirmishes and the picks.
And just backed to instantly buy the Rabadon's death cap.
I mean, that's a feels good man or a feels bad man, depending on what team you're supporting.
I think the Click fans in the chat will be like, ooh, that is not what you want to see. She has a stopwatch as well, building potentially towards a Leandries if she wants to go that route with the Amptome and the Ruby Crystal. You're feeling good if you're RIP and Peace DFG. You're just sitting pretty 8-2. 2-item power spike that's gonna do some disgusting damage.
Yeah, I mean, they have a decent amount of CC to be able to stop the Katarina, but they're not team fighting at the moment. They're just, the Katarina's just moving in and, like I said, getting picks onto these really squishy carries, and she's just popping them.
Well, they're doing a 3-1-1 at this point. Kybit in the middle lane just pushing in the tower, now down to half health. They have Hume in that bottom side just escorting the wave in, making sure he can get some chip damage down onto that inhib tower himself. And also, it's going to be so much easier to take these towers with the Baron and Power Minion wave. They have a Mountain Drake as well. That's the first inhib tower going down. Oh, that was beautiful. Dodges away from the Petrifying Gaze, and we'll have to back away because of the amount of damage Bendix can do with this 2-item power spike.
Stop him now.
Fortify the stun, Baby King come through as well. Bendix just gets erupted, and they pick up this inhib tower, this inhib as well. We'll manage to find the hook shot to get the C2 Death Lowest comes down. RP and Peace DFG is godlike now 9-2. Buys time with the stopwatch and just dashes to safety. That's another inhib going down. They're running them around in their own base. This is versus Click.
I mean, you just have to wait until Satanel is there with you when you're going up against the Katarina.
Previous will not hit the Abscond, or the Abduct has to flash away now. Ackers down to half health, just about. Now the target will be this mid inhib tower they want to take and make it a 3 inhib take. Deathlows comes through and Ackers, wrong place, wrong time. RIP and Peace DFG takes yet another kill for himself, and Xenoblade not going to quite connect onto anyone or find a target in any way, shape, or form. Next is tower number 1. So close to going down. Minions doing so much damage at this point. That's the first one to go down. Looking for a second and goes through. He just gets erupted himself. Bendix takes that kill. We'll trade one back for the Katarina. Bendix in a lot of trouble. Deathlows comes through. He should be going down. He will go down. Shutdown gold now over to Bendix. They've bitten off far more than they could chew, but they go undefeated no longer, as Kybet will finish the game.
Just wow. I mean, I said it before the stream. You know, I'll admit I was wrong. I said, you know, I didn't think they could even take a game, but they've smashed them. That was just a smash. I mean, I'm gonna go check the damage now.
I expect huge damage numbers.
Yeah, big damage coming up with Katarina.
Okay.
I mean,
it's a 24-minute game.
Rip and Peace DFG, great game coming out of him. He knew what he was doing with that champion. He performed well in the laning phase. He went over aggressive a few times, yeah, but he managed to move into transition that lead from lane into skirmishes, into picks in the late game, and he was just fantastic on it. Bendix did pick up a few kills towards the end in the mid game, but it wasn't enough, and the momentum from NSG just pummeled Click into the ground.
And we were so close to getting 2 kills a minute as well.
Oh, were we? 24 minutes.
We had 41 kills or something like that.
Oh well, next game.
Next game.
We've got one more
NFC,
game
you
for
have to
the
step it
series.
up a bit more. We're going to game 3, baby. It's not something I thought we'd be saying, but that Katarina was so good. Hume didn't die even once in that game as well. Just everyone on the side of NSG stepped up to the plate and Click. Their backs are against the wall in the semifinals against NSG. They went undefeated up until just now, so they were 8-0. Now they're 8-1 in the season.
Yeah, and it
And
wasn't even a close game. The first game,
can they lose
close-ish.
2 in a row and be out?
I mean,
Be into the third and fourth place?
I think they'll try and just regroup a little bit. Just remember that they are still I would still expect Click to come back and take the game, but the momentum is very much in NSG's favor at the moment, and hopefully they can carry it through to their final game. But we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with Game 3 very soon.
used to be the color of the truth in our lives. Golden boy, you set my world.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are into Champion Select for our final game in the NSG versus Click series now. This was the first loss handed to Click during this entire league so far, so it'll be interesting to see if they can come back, well, if they will come back, which is what we're kind of all expecting, or if NSG will give them 2 wins in a row, and NSG might make their way to the final tomorrow and put Click, our undefeated top tier team, into the 3rd place match.
I mean, it would be an insane miracle run for NSG to win
Yeah,
this
it would.
next game and go all the way. Pardon me. I spoke in the first game how, you know, NSG are in this game by the skin of their teeth. They won just enough games and just the right games to be able to put themselves in to play no tiebreakers because they'd already beaten the other teams that were on the same points as them. And if they come in here, you know, only just managing to win the game up by 1 series and go into the final, you know, that's going to give them a huge amount of confidence, and confidence and momentum is going to play a huge role in this game. NSG will be moving into it like they did last game with the momentum they built up from the early game and trying to pick early game again, I think, and try and smash them as hard as they can.
Yeah, looking to just kind of reform the comp that they had in the last game that they actually got the win on, but they can't put in the Nasus, they can't put in the Katarina, both banned away. I like the adaptation, the banning of the kind of the series meta, and taking away the power picks that we saw NSG do so well on. And Caitlyn, again, the priority for OSP.
I'm not sure the Katarina ban was necessarily needed. I think if you're with you now being on red side, you're going to be giving the counterpick to Bendix most likely. You can probably just wait for that and then counterpick the Katarina if it does come up again. I don't think he would want to blind pick it. I'm not sure how comfortable he is on the champion, but fair enough. If they really don't want to play against it, you know, you've got the ban to waste, go for it.
You may as well. Ivern locked in for Previous. We'll have to see if that is a legit lock-in or if
I think it's definitely legit. Previous is not maybe known like now for his Ivern, but it used to be a huge pick for him. I don't think he would pick that if he was doing a placeholder. I mean, maybe that's him losing a little bit of confidence himself on that Silas pick he had last game. It'd be a shame if that is, because he's had great performances on it in the league so far, but going back to something he has a huge amount of comfort in and just trying to give support to the rest of his team that are performing a little bit better this series.
Well, if it isn't broke, why fix it? On the side of NSG, they have their Lucian, Pike, and Rek'Sai from that last game, so hopefully they can replicate the success that they found in that game, and it is going to be a little bit different from the side of Click. Ivern locked in and looking to maybe lock into Morgana for the Caitlyn Morgana oppressive lane that we see time and time again.
Yeah, no, I'm really liking this. They're going straight into throwing all of their eggs so far into the OSP basket. If they can go in and get a really strong counter pick for Bendix here, just put Akers on something really safe, really blind pickable. Maybe he manages to get the Gnar again. Even the Renekton, although it didn't work out last game, I think it'd still be a good option for something to blind pick and just stay safe in that lane. And then Previous can put a lot of attention into this bot lane, into this mid lane, and do his best on that Ivern pick to try and get them rolling.
Well, now that the Gnar has been banned away, what would you like to see a bit of a safe top lane for Akers apart from that?
Like I said, the Renekton is also another option. Like I said, didn't go well last game, but still a decent blind pick. Gangplank is an option as a blind pick at the moment. I know he probably plays it. You could even pick just a blind tank that just stays safe. Ornn is decent right now. Poppy's decent right now. We'll see what he picks up as his blind pick. The Renekton is open, so I will expect it to be that. But I guess with the Cho'Gath,
Yeah.
bit unconventional.
Okay.
We'll have to see if that's a placeholder, I think. I mean, Cho'Gath was meta about a year, maybe a year and a half ago in the top lane. It's still a decent, it was a decent blind pick top tank champion. There are some things in the meta that can punish it pretty heavily at the moment, so maybe we'll see Hume go into it, but
Okay.
maybe the
A
Malphite.
Malphite locked in. Okay.
I mean, after the Nasus, we just don't know what is a placeholder pick and what isn't really.
Unless it's a Teemo, and even then, it might be like, well, Teemo to Cho'Gath.
Actually,
Why
no,
not?
I'd say my pick always used to be Urgot before the rework.
It's because no one played Urgot before the rework. No one.
Yeah.
I think there was like some Diamond 3 Urgot main that had 1 million points in Urgot that did play it, but pretty much it.
I can't think what would be your placeholder pick if you wanted to make it really obvious right now. I can't think of one off the top of my head. A lot of things are kind of good right now.
A placeholder would be Nidalee, maybe.
I mean, they've all swapped out here, so I don't actually think any of these are placeholders. We see Bendix taking the comfort in the Orianna pick. Syndra, a good blind pick to have. So I'm confused why they didn't ban that out if they knew that he was going to be having to blind pick into it. I think you can counter some of those champions pretty well, and Bendix probably has a champion pool to be able to do it with, but fair enough, just going to put him on a pretty strong comfort on him. There's a lot of onus on OSP here to perform on this Caitlyn. He's got so much protection now. He's got Morgana. He's got Morgana shield. He's got Orianna shield, and he's got Ivern shield. That is a ridiculous amount of assistance to be giving your ADC. But I mean, talked about multiple threats on this team. OSP very much still is a threat. He has performed really well in games and shown that he can pump out damage in these fights. And I think it's slightly unconventional to go for him when you have Bendix on your team. Orianna is can still carry a game. It's not like a Karma supportive champion, but it's not necessarily like a hard carrier like you might see a hard assassin or something like Cassiopeia potentially. But no, fair enough. And the Cho'Gath, I'm trying to track my mind back to when Cho'Gath was a pick. Even then, you wouldn't see it in like a Malphite matchup, I don't think.
I remember seeing it recently. It might have been EU Masters or something. I wasn't really watching EU Masters a huge amount, but I remember something in the last few days even sticking out in my memory of kind of going, Cho'Gath was used, and he did surprisingly well.
I mean, I don't think he would be terrible, but I'm kind of. I mean, this top matchup's gonna be pretty
wet noodle.
odd
It's
to
just
watch.
gonna be a wet noodle.
Yeah.
Until level 6 and the Cho'Gath's kind of like, I'm pretty done with you, and just feast on him. But like, speak to me a little bit about this Malphite, because you're playing into an Orianna, Morgana, Ivern, Cho'Gath. This is so much magic damage. Why would you pick up the Malphite? Are we expecting maybe a full AP Malphite? Because we've seen that in recent patches. Well, not hugely recent patches. I think it was spring we saw a decent amount of Malphite, but it was AP Malphite, and it was over in the LCK. And I think it had a 0% win rate over 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why it's been picked in this. I mean, Camille and Nasus has been taken away, so maybe Malphite's just like his next best pick, and he just goes down his comfort order no matter what happens.
Or maybe it's just like we didn't expect to get this far, so we didn't have a draft prepared.
Yeah,
so
no.
we're just gonna pick this.
I'm not entirely sure, but moving on to the rest of the comp on NSG's side, you see a lot of picks that they had last game. They really want to carry this momentum, like we said, forward into this, and still with those strong early game picks. Techie, I'm honestly surprised that the Pyke wasn't banned out. I think Techie Fiend was a real standout player of that last game, and he managed to solo win a lot of those bot lane fights and give them a lot of pressure.
Especially early, he did so well early.
Oh yeah, definitely.
4 or 5-0 at one point.
Yeah, I mean, whenever directed camera took us down and we saw Pyke go in, we're like, he's getting a double stun, he's gonna pop his ulti, he's getting 2 kills there, and no, he did really, really well for his team. So, I mean, they've allowed him to pick it up again in the exact same, with the exact same bot laner in Lucian. They've alternated things a little bit out. They've got the Morgana instead, so that might help out a little bit with the CC onto the Caitlyn, but we'll just have to find out.
And I'm curious as to how itchy Sentinel's trigger finger will be with that black shield, because if you hold back with your bone skewer, then you can bait in the black shield and then go for a different target. So that's if he puts down the Black Shield a little bit too early.
Yeah, definitely. We actually see an electrocute coming out from the
he's going
Malphite.
AP. I'm waiting for it.
Full AP Malphite. I mean, we had a go at the unconventional Nasus pick and build in the first game, and it almost won the game for them. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
We poked a little bit of fun at the Katarina as well, but then went 11-3 and just hard carried. So
every
we're not
time
gonna...
every time we make fun of non-meta, it goes and kicks us in the face. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna say it's the best pick ever. I think Malphite top is S+ at the moment. I'm not surprised that he picked it. Electrocute.
Now you just cast your cursing NSG. Don't do that.
I'm fixing the match.
Can they get Akkers here though? Yeah, I don't think so, unless you flash forward. But oh,
Ooh,
nicely
got him in.
done. He can flash over the wall though. Flash forward. Akkers will go down. First blood for Kaz.
Does manage to burn 3 summoners on NSG, but I think they'll still be happy taking away that first blood onto Kaz. 4? Oh yeah, of course, because they ignite as well. Oof. Praevis is going to have to look towards this bot lane and do his best to punish that. That's a lot of summoner spells gone in that bot lane.
Now, would you call it worth for Akkers to have gone down there since he burned 4 summoners?
The problem is Cho'Gath is also should be very scared without his flash. He's a very easy target to jump on. He has fortunately, if the Rek'Sai does go to top lane, it's quite easy for Akkers to be able to just put the Q on himself when he sees the Rek'Sai burrowing towards him and get away. But he is still very susceptible to ganks without his flash.
And OSP and Sentinel were setting up a trap in that Tri-Brush, but because of the nice ward, did spot them out going the long way, so will not be susceptible to that particular play.
I'm just curious to see this AP Malphite in action, man.
He started off with the Doran's Ring, so he has a little bit of sustain with the mana.
I mean, Malphite AP jungle, like no troll, has actually been popping up in solo queue and people have been playing it, but that's in like the jungle role.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just a big Malphite player. I don't know how exactly that's going to work. I mean, I'm trying to think of what they have to burn the Morgana shield before the Malphite goes in order to get these proper knockups onto them.
I'm not sure he's playing just for the knockup though, because you don't have a Yasuo on your team, so the knockup isn't really what matters. It's more just going for that straight up damage.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're already going pretty even in the lane, a little bit low on mana, decent amount of health still.
That's going to be a huge trade for the Cho there going in. He doesn't have his E, unfortunately. I mean, Cho'Gath is still a very, very strong laner. His passive allows him to have a huge amount of sustain after killing minions, and he will auto-push the lane with his E as well. So again, without his flash, he has to be very careful of the Rek'Sai coming into it. But you do see Kai there moving into Praevis' red side.
Yep, just hit him with a Prey Seeker there. Just gonna show him who's boss. He's opted to go in with the Guardian for previous years, so a little bit more focused on kind of going for these lane ganks and priority to try and snowball rather than anything else, it seems. Yeah, nice pullback.
Nice
Not gonna
little
find
trade
much
bringing
else,
him down.
just a little bit of poke.
Yeah, taking down like half HP there, definitely a significant amount of damage going in there.
Taking a lot of damage in these trades, almost gets the knockup, I should say. Gets a nice amount of chip damage with the electrocute proc.
Cho'Gath doesn't care about this though. He's gonna keep moving in.
Flash is available for Hume though. Trading decent damage numbers back and forth.
Cho'Gath's just gonna kill a few minions and heal that all back up though,
Previous.
unfortunately.
Goes to bot side, flashes forward, manages to find the Dark Binding Techie Fiend off to the side. Brushmaker comes out. Just looking for it to heal back up, flash forward, OSP should be able to find the kill here, Hill comes through, Dark Binding as well, might be able to find a second one. As the Root Collar also connects. A couple more auto attacks would find it, but OSP did find his first kill of the game.
Yeah, we talked about it over. Praevis needs to be moving down into that bot lane and punishing those 2 flashes blown for that first blood, and he manages to go in and even up that gold lead a little bit more in that bot lane.
And now double flashes blown on the side of Click as well. OSP and Sentinel both flashless. So that can spell a gank by Kaibit. Previous didn't manage to get the back off before Kaibit made his way down towards that bottom side.
Yeah, and I keep harping on about it, but that Cho'Gath passive, you know, he was like 200 HP and he's killed a few minions and he's back to full. He hasn't even backed yet. He's going to be able to stay in this lane for as long as he wants.
And again, it brings us back to this Malphite pick. Why go for it? Is it strictly just to kind of focus, okay, OSP, all the eggs in the OSP carry basket, I'm going to blow him up.
I mean, if you're the thing is though with Team, and he's shown that he's quite a decent split push carry player in the Nasus and the Camille games that we've seen from him. I'm surprised he hasn't gone for something really aggressive like a Darius, for example, in this matchup, because that's something you can really punish a pick like Cho'Gath or a pick like Poppy, some of these more like a mobile tanks. And Darius is, you know, while, you know, in high-level competitive play, it would be a little troll. At this sort of level, you can really get away with it, and you can really punish these players.
Previous towards the bottom side yet again, but Cass doing decent amount of damage onto OSP, has to dash away. Cemented Soil was there for a little bit of extra damage, but Previous heavily focusing towards this bottom side, really wants to try and snowball OSP, and can't blame him. He's the main carry for the team right now, as out comes Shockwave just by a little bit of space, and decent trading between the Syndra and the Orianna.
Yeah, with the way that sort of went, I didn't really see any way that Rip and Peace DFG was going to come out with it. Great.
Yeah, but out comes the root call yet again. OSP with the second kill. And Previous is relentless in this bottom side. He's still ahead of Kaibit.
Yeah, no, great combo there with the Morgana Q. Previous is, I don't even root. Yeah, I mean he's shooting out a root.
I think.
Yeah. No, great combo there, and good to keep pushing that bot lane.
Flash forward, nice stun comes through, has the ultimate available as well, will use it. Just looking for the last hit. RIP and Peace DFG almost going down to the tower damage. Flash forward, Previous will find it with an auto attack. Now Kaibit has to flash away from the Dark Binding as the rotation comes through from the bottom lane.
Rip and Peace DFG is getting so close to smashing this mid lane matchup. It's these 1v1s are constantly so low level, like so low HP, and it's a shame that he didn't pick up that kill there, and it's a shame that he went down. But it's still great for him to have this confidence going up against, you know, arguably the best player in the league.
It definitely speaks to, hold that for a second, in comes the teleport. Kaibit in his own jungle can't do anything. Bendix, first kill of the game, now Techie Fiend. That's the dash away. We'll manage to get out to safety.
And that's why they fear the Previous Ivan. He's got 100% kill participation so far. He's been where he really needs to be to punish the specific people that, you know, are missing their flashes, are susceptible to ganks, and they're going to pick up the dragon for it as well. And an early mountain for them is great.
Once again, great to have this mountain on a Caitlyn. Dark Binding connects onto Techie Fiend. Nice stun with the Sky of the Week, but not going to really find anything. Mountain Drake will be taken uncontested for Click.
It'll be another Mountain Drake after. We've had a ridiculous amount of Mountain Drakes in this series, actually. I think there's been like at least 2 each game.
And when you have a Caitlyn in the game, it's pretty good to have it. So I don't think Click will really be complaining, apart from the fact that they were handed their first loss of the league.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Previous, the amount of assistance he's giving to the bot lane here is definitely where he should be putting it. It's a shame that Bendix is falling slightly behind. Well, was falling slightly behind this lane until he got the kill.
Yeah, but Daisy isn't available for Previous here. Bendix makes the rotation up. Root Collar dashed away from. Nicely done.
Yeah, although that was quite a minute thing, it's good to see that Bendix and Previous seem to be on the same page a little bit more this game. Spoke and praised the duo and the synergy they seem to have quite a lot, and they're going for it. Alright, this is it. And I mean, they've had a really good jungle duo and really good synergy throughout the league so far, so it's great to see them back on it back on the horse a little bit more in this game, especially.
This is full glass cannon from Hume here. He's picked up the last chapter, so building towards that Luden's Echo, it seems. you already have a deficit for the Malphite against the Cho'Gath in the top side. He's building towards Abyssal Mask, it really seems. But you're just making it easier to itemize for the Cho'Gath since you're against double AP now.
I have no idea what's going on. I mean,
Exactly what I want to hear from my color caster.
I guess he's going for he's pops the ultimate here. That's almost definitely a kill.
Hackers, a lot of trouble. Looking for the engage here from Kaibit, gets a knock up with the Rupture. Has a flash available.
He doesn't have the
we'll
ultimate.
Use it. Just gonna try and buy a little bit of time, get a little bit of space. Ackers will eventually go down to Hume. Now 1-0, and if you keep doing that, rinse and repeat, then this Malphite might start to work out.
Yeah, you hope and you pray. I mean, it's a shame that Akers didn't have his ultimate up there. I imagine, I can't remember if he used it on an enemy or if he just used it on a minion to try and build up those stacks early. If he had it there, that could have been a double kill for him, potentially. But that's the risk you take when you pop it on the minion instead of using it on yourself. And he did push up just a little bit too far there. Blows his flash and still doesn't manage to get away from it. And I mean, more gold onto the Malphite isn't great, but I still don't think it matters too much.
Yeah, I think it's better to just make sure that the Cho'Gath is dead as much as possible rather than worrying about who picks up the kills right now. But Morgana will have to flash away from the hook back, and Techie Fiend flashes away as well, but the auto attack will follow. And they're going to take this tier 1 tower, get the first brick gold in their pockets.
He's playing as if it's last game, and he's like already 5 kills up with the amount of gold that he would have had over his laning opponents, and he just can't make those plays like that, especially when Previous is still in the lane there.
It's just not something that you can do, and it was a good bone skewer. You have to give him that, but once you have the flash blown on side of Sentinel, you just need to leave it just back out, and he knew that Previous was still there, so ultimate not available now for Actors. He did use it, but Hume will use his own just to get to safety. Doesn't have a great idea of the cooldown timer at this point of the ultimate from Actors, and didn't want to give him over a free kill.
Yeah, Akker's definitely going for just sort of like the low econ style here. He's popping his ultimate as much as he can on these minions just to try and get his health up, get those guaranteed stats onto him. It's a shame because, you know, he could have been picking up these kills with these ultimates, but still good play from him to get the advantage in his lane. He's gone up nearly 20 CS, and to point towards some item spikes actually for these players. OSP, he's got the Infinity Edge and the Berserker Greaves right now. He's going to be pumping out a lot of damage on this Caitlyn, and it's great. Previous had a great game plan for this game. He's moved down to bot lane when he needed to. He's gotten the kills onto the right person. This game is all about OSP and Caitlyn. He's got low econ Cho'Gath top to protect him. He's got a ridiculous amount of shields. Look at that damage.
OSP with the Infinity Edge just popping people. Flash away from Kaibit there, but he should be going down. The shield is massive. Shutdown Gold now goes over to RIP in Peace, and Bendix is off to the side. Shockwave finds 2. RIP in Peace. Heal will keep him alive. He has to flash away. Bendix now in the 1v1 versus Kaz. Will he go down? Now the double coming through for Kaz. Sentinel now the target for the triple once again.
We told you no troll ease this game, OSP. He pops himself out so he doesn't get the redemption proc and the heal, and that could have actually saved the fight for them. He managed to get the shield from the Ivan again to protect him for a little bit longer, and if he had 300 more HP there, he could have survived. And with OSP still alive in that fight, I think they actually just win it. I mean, with how close everything was and the low health bars on people, it's a real shame that he went down there.
And that brought Cass back into this game. He was, I think, 1-0 at that point. Now he's 4-0, and OSP in a lot of trouble. Finds the stun, finds the double stun, and Kaibit easily picks up a punishing kill.
The last 2 minutes have really changed the tides for this game. That's a Rift Herald going down in the bot lane as well. It's hopefully going to pick up the tower for them. That's a huge amount of gold going into the pockets of NSG, and they really needed that for the early game picks that they have. They need to start pummeling this early game with the Lucian, the Rek'Sai, and the Pyke, and maybe now they have a chance to do it.
Rift Herald popped in that bottom side. We'll get a nice amount of damage onto the tower.
And
that is just disrespectful. Bendix now in a lot of trouble. Gonna try and give it over to Kaz here, I think, but Ultimate is available for RMP and Peace, and Kybert now in a lot of trouble himself. Ace in the hole. No, Bravus will just pick that up for himself.
Just people getting called out over and over again.
And Bendix didn't go down there because they wanted to go over to Kaz.
Oh well, happens. Mistakes happen. I mean, I will actually just point out though, Akka's. I think that's what happened. He in the bot lane when the Rift Herald was popped, he managed to pop his ultimate off on it. Even if it's popped by the enemy team, it still gives you that extra stack from an epic monster. So great for him to be able to pop that then and get himself a free extra stack.
Nice little micro mechanic there.
Hell yeah! I'm just trying to flex my Cho'Gath knowledge, you know.
And he did end up going for that Abyssal Mask as well, which will help out in the team fights for the amount of magic damage that's being pumped out by the rest of his team. And they are now on to the second Mountain Drake. Can Kybert seal this away? Should we go try? Goes in. Smite is good from the side of Previous.
Got a low last, so he did have the advantage there, so it's good to see him take it.
Good shield will give him the added movement speed to be able to dodge away from the Bone Skewer coming out from Techie Fiend. And he'll just pick up his blue buff as well, so he's doing well, feeling very comfortable on this Ivern, and it's one of the closer games, I think, in this series so far, and it is still in favor of Clint.
Possible back going in the bot end here. It's so unlucky for NSG. It didn't really matter last game, but oh my lord. That's what I mean, the amount of damage that Caitlyn's able to pop out with that build at the moment is absurd, and it's all going to be on OSP. Thankfully, Bendix has picked up a couple kills now so that he can still be a threat as well. But make no mistake, OSP is still the heavy carry player for this game, and they're going to be hoping for a great performance in the mid-game.
As soon as any of the bindings, the Root Collar, the Dark Binding, the next Yordle Snap Trap, just hit them with a headshot, and just another auto attack, and they basically go down, and that's what we saw happen to Kaz.
And PCDFG doing his best to still try and flex his muscles in this lane against Bendix, but Bendix has picked up quite a few kills now, and he's gonna take it.
Shockwave pulled back, Redemption comes through just to try and keep him alive! It wasn't early enough.
Oh my lord, that was so close. I mean,
talk about unleashed power.
Yeah, great usage of the ultimate knowledge. I mean, in fairness, you know, Bendix was pretty low last time, and he managed to stay alive and get the kill onto Rim Piece DFG. So I see that more as just a trade for the earlier fight.
That is not what I expected from that duel on the top side. I thought that the Redemption was going to come through just about on time, but you can never underestimate the amount of damage that can come through from a Syndra ultimate. If she has loads of orbs around her, she just does insane damage.
Yeah, and I mean, Rip in Peace DFG coming out with a great early game again. I mean, it's 3 games in a row now that he's managed to have the early game advantage over Bendix.
Hackers caught out, has to flash away. Rupture is available, we'll use it as a double knockup, but off to the side, flash away now from Techie Fiend. Has Daisy available, out comes the culling. Will cancel it early, now has to flash away. Actually, culling wasn't used, I was mistaken, it was a light binding. And he just goes down. Nice trade of damage, but gives up his life. Oh!
These two mid laners right now are just pumping out so much damage that they can just kill each other like that. It's really ridiculous. They're both able to one-shot each other.
And more fighting as the shields come through. Death from below will not be able to find anyone. Flash away from the soul shackles, and pulled over Peacemaker will not be able to find the kill onto Hume just yet. Rupture over the wall.
Aka's Cho'Gath Qs have been pretty on point. I mean, I know it's a big spell and it's not too difficult to hit, but they've still been pretty on point in the last like 5 minutes that I've been watching him do them.
He's a pretty decent Cho'Gath player, I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad.
6 CPS up now on Hume.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm gonna check his stacks. 8 stacks now coming out. He's chopped all of his minions. Oh no, never mind. Akkas doesn't know the champion as well as I do. He's got 0 epic monsters ingested. He didn't use his ultimate on on Shelly there.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh my lord!
Didn't even need the unleashed power.
He's pumping out insane damage. He hasn't even got his Rabadons yet. He's just got the 2 needlessly large rods.
Just Syndra things.
Just
think that's the path.
Syndra things.
But still, Bendix is taking it to him. He is able to go even in these trades and actually get a kill for a kill, but looking for the collapse now. Spotted out by this control ward, so he'll just peace out of the situation.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
popped.
that's a lot of damage. We'll be able to try and find the knockup, finds the stun, double stun comes through, and he just finds one back, has the flash available.
Great
uses it to
flash.
get over the wall. We managed to get out.
Great play from Bednix there to be able to get the kill and come out with it as well. Kaibet's just been a bit too aggressive this game. He's just been where he shouldn't be quite a lot of the time, and he's taking these really strange fights when he's just again it's like Techie Fiend when he was playing over aggressive like he was last game, but this game he just doesn't have the stats or the gold to be able to make these aggressive plays.
Now Feral Drake is in the sights of both these teams, and actually they're just gonna give it up. It seems gonna go over. And
Oh no, that's
go
gotta
for
feel bad. That's another stack being taken away from the Cho'Gath. I feel so sad for Akers right now.
maybe he just doesn't care.
Yeah, he just, I mean, he said
We
this,
can let
I
him
wouldn't
down.
care when my carries are left. Okay. A huge CS lead actually being picked up in the top lane now. I mean, Malphite's like not a great CSer, but Cho'Gath's really pumping that out now.
They've started off on the Baron though. It's a really early Baron, 21 minutes in.
They are
don't
aware
even
of it.
have Mountain Drakes. Yeah, Kaiba a lot of health damage. As OSP gets very low as well, thanks to
Why?
Rip in Peace, CFG.
I have no idea why that Baron was started.
It would have made more sense to start it when they're on the Feral Drake, but they decided not to, and this goes golden by a little bit of time, goes forward with the unstoppable force, but he'll just take it out 1-for-1, make that 3-for-1 now, with the insane damage coming from Bendix. Techie Fiend caught on the wrong side of the lane, and looks like they're gonna go for the Baron now themselves. Or at least
Yeah,
throw
no,
some vision.
Yeah, no, I don't know why they try the Baron there. They don't have a good team for taking it. They're not the ones with the 2 Mountain Drakes. And he gets popped.
Popped off to the side, we don't even get to
And
see it.
then afterwards, like after the TV plays, and you don't even just fully back off and just give it up. They try and go back in and fight, even though they're all half HP from trying the Baron that they just never should have gone for. Really, really bad decision making from NSG there, and it's really tipped the scales in favor of Click now.
And I think you'll be happy to know, James, I think he got the feast on the Baron.
Praise the Lord. Praise the
I've
Lord.
been trying to get away, trying to back sneakily, but OSP will find him. We'll just kill him.
That's what I mean. They're Techie Fiend and Kaibet are playing like it's last game, and they're like 7-2 and 5-1 and stuff, and they're just not. They can't 1v1 anyone, and it's kind of a shame for the Rek'Sai because it makes him feel kind of useless. He can't one-shot the enemy ADC. He can't one-shot mid laner. I don't even think he could one-shot the support with especially with the Zhonya's. Like he's kind of useless right now.
I'd love to see the damage numbers at this point in the game and see how much damage Sentinel's doing compared to Hume on this Malphite, because he has his proto belt completed, he has the last chapter, but then again you have the Zhonya's, as you said, completed for Sentinel, and it's Morgana, so you just keep landing these dark bindings and Tormented Soil goes down, you do a surprising amount of damage.
Yeah, definitely a huge amount going to be coming out from him.
And I'd like to point out as well that Praevius has 16 stacks on his Magi's Soul Sealer.
Oof. Nice one. I mean, he's confident in his champion. He knows how to stay alive. I will point out oh, maybe a fight's going to occur here.
Yeah, looking for Bendix now the target, but he's staying alive for a decent amount of time, just buying time for his team. Gonna trade 1-for-1 so far in the fight. Kybert looking for a little bit more. OSP will find the double. And you went for the fight, but you lost it.
I mean, I think it was good to try and single them out there. They do manage to pick up the kill as well, which is great. But like I said, this Rek'Sai just deals no damage. He's kind of useless at the moment. And looking at the gold leads, actually, it's all in the top lane and the jungle, and slightly the support as well. Like, there's not a lot of difference between these carry players. It's all in the other lanes at the moment.
a lot of difference in the top jungle and support. Caught out, just look at all the CC, and he just chomps him.
We were definitely right about the curse. As soon as we think, oh yeah, Malphite, electrocute, AP. That's an insane thing. It's like S tier right now in the top lane, and he does nothing. He's done nothing. I mean,
you. I just 100% blame you for the past curse on that one.
I'll write a personal apology to you after this for doubting
Yeah,
him in the first two and then cursing him in last.
Give it an apology video for NSG for cursing them.
Definitely. I mean, it just would have been better if Malphite had gone tank this game. He's not doing anything, and Akers is.
Yeah, looking for a fight here. Color comes out. Look at the damage though. Void Seeker, not good enough. Not really gonna do much for you. Flash forward. Bendix finds the kill onto Techie Fiend. Looking for another one here is RP and Peace. Goes golden just to prevent the unleashed power from doing anything. Previous also finds a kill, but Lucian looking to try and trade some damage back. Use the heal just to get a little bit more movement speed, a little bit more sustain. And Akers is hunting for it. He will find it. Hume, he has no ultimate available, no chance at doing anything. The ace, the dragon as well, and you're just feeling so bad if you're an NSG.
The Cho'Gath just jumps on you, and he silences you, and he kills you before you even have a chance to ulti onto him or any of his carries. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. This game I think is even more in favor of Click, and I would put more money on Click winning this game than I would at the start of the series. I think this is kind of done at this point. The amount of dragon advantage they have,
At
the
this
Baron will be up in
point,
2 minutes.
I think everyone would bet like Click would win at this point. There's a 10,000 gold lead. 2 Infernals, 2 Mountains. They have double the kills.
25 stack Magi's on Pravius.
He just doesn't care. He's just gonna go in with the root call. He's just like, I'm just gonna chase
I really
up
want
on
to
you.
see how big his
Morgana.
shield is right now. Go on, show us your shield, Pravius. Show us your shield. I'm just gonna focus on him for 2
His
seconds.
shield does about 435 shield or something.
It's
it's
just, yeah, 500,
pretty
like 500
sizable.
for me. Yeah, it's pretty sizable. And I mean, combo that with the Orianna shield as well. That Caitlyn should never be dying in these fights. If she's dying,
yeah, it's
like,
around 500, I'd say.
if she's dying,
Yeah.
someone's hitting. What happened? What happened to? Did you see that?
I was looking
Daisy.
at the shield.
No, like Previous spawned Daisy on the wall, and then she just bugged out and moved forward.
I didn't see that at all, but I wouldn't be surprised. People don't normally spawn Daisy into the walls.
Maybe maybe it was Syndra W.
It could have been a spectator class.
Oh no, yeah, no, it might have been Syndra W.
Whereas Hume, looking for to get the damage down onto Bendix. He doesn't have a huge amount of damage. He's 1.5 items. They take down the tower. They take down the Malphite. Looking for the kill onto Kaz as well. Flash forward from Sentinel. Out comes the Soul Shackles. Not really needed, but we'll find the kill. OSP on the backside will be taken down by Aura IP and Peace TFG, but that will be so many kills. 3 kills going over to Click, and that should be the base. That should be the series. 2-1. Click make their way to the finals as they just pad the KDA stats, and well done from Click. Congratulations, you're in the finals.
Yeah, it was nice while it lasted. Credit to Akers in that game as well. I think everyone on the team performed well, but Akers, especially considering the circumstance he was put in with, he lost his flash level 1, he died, but he still managed to come up with the game with only 2 deaths, and he really managed to play the low econ game pretty well there. I mean, he wasn't against much in the AP Malphite to compete against, but no, I think he still did pretty well that game, and credit to the whole team, really. I think they did well to come up with the win there.
I think it was a little bit of a troll pick, the Malphite. I think the rest of the
definitely.
team comp was probably fine, except for the fact that Kybit ended up going 1-8, but that might speak to more comfortability of Bendix and Previous, and they started to communicate a bit better, which we didn't really see in the last couple of games previous to this.
Yeah.
I think it was really well done from Click. Surprising that they gave up a game at all in the series, but I think that was just because it was really well done by NSG in that last game as well.
And I'll give a big shout out to rip in peace DFG. He has been such a good player this series, and to be able to go head to head with Bendix, who is the best, he's the best player in this league.
He definitely is. Yeah.
Rip in peace DFG has played really well and managed to do really well against him. And honestly,
get solo kills as well.
Yeah, get solo kills and make Bendix, make him look pretty bad at his in the laning phase. But anyway, congratulations to Click, commiserations to NSG. We'll see.
They still play tomorrow. They still play tomorrow for third place.
Yeah.
Against whoever wins in the next, whoever loses in the next series, I should say.
Yeah. So catch both of those teams tomorrow in their respective matches. We're going to take a quick break, but when we're back, we'll be here with the second semi-final. Don't go anywhere.
Do you remember when we used to run away through the night? There is a story about us two, and it's written about me and you. Nothing can bring us down, 'cause we are together now. Not even time can stop us now, 'cause we are forever young. 'Cause we are together now. 'Cause we are together now. 'Cause we are together now. Nothing can bring us down. 'Cause we are together now. 'Cause we are together now. Do you remember how we used to run against the morning sun? There is a place where I wanna go, where it all started a long time ago. I remember the days, and it all comes back to me. Every time I go to sleep, you're lying next to me. 'Cause we are together now. 'Cause we are together now. Nothing can bring us down. 'Cause we are together now. Not even time can stop us now. 'Cause we are forever young.
now. Ego speed, of course, hovering infamous Nocturne.
And that's kind of the story of today, where Lucian has had so much more priority than what we've seen in the last few weeks, which has been Kai'Sa and Xayah.
Yeah, of course, Lucian does have pretty good matchups into both of those AD carries and is no slouch inside of the laning phase, pretty much notorious for his laning antics. So being able to put Xayah and Kai'Sa in the dirt early on in the game is certainly something teams do like to have in their hands. Rakan, the first pick, currently hovering Annie, would imagine that's a placeholder.
Could be Annie top lane. One day
Yeah,
did.
be. Yeah, did also, if you had your eyes on the Forge stream, popped up. I believe the matchup was into Kiana. It didn't do too well, but mid lane, of course, this Annie was. However, I don't think anybody's been brave enough in the UKEL to play on Annie, as seems like Jarvan gonna be the second pickup here for Viperio. Yuumi is also up and available too. It's a pretty popular pairing with Lucian. Braum 2 is there. We are currently also waiting on confirmation for what the Annie placeholder is.
Mightn't be a placeholder.
I would imagine it is a placeholder. I'm being told that it is Syndra, so pretty good at dealing with Jarvan in particular, and of course, pretty good flex. Can be put in the bottom lane, can be put in the middle lane, and even on rare occasion, the top side of the map, if matchup calls for it. And Braum, classic Joe with Lucian, going to be locked in. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Bulldogs actually opt into Xayah lane, and it seems like the answer is going to be a yes, as we head now to the second ban phase. That's locked in.
Yeah, if Xayah is available, might as well go for it. Has a good matchup.
Yeah.
Well, relatively good matchup, let's say. Lucian Braum having a lot of early pressure, but then later on you have a lot of engage, and especially paired up with the Rakan, Xayah can just be a monster, one of those powerhouse AD carries.
Yeah, and
I see you lack judgment.
is still kind of somewhat curious to me that Jarvan wasn't taken ahead of the Syndra once you have the Rakan lock in first, and Xayah pickup is almost guaranteed with Lucian being there. But Syndra, of course, very stable pick at the moment, so no real complaints, as Kayle removed away, I would imagine, from Kenrio. And Na is the response. Gotta be a target ban that once. Not a champion you see all too often. Orianna's gonna follow that.
You get to pick up the mid laner for the side of Viperio here. So what would you like to see as a response into the Syndra that's already been picked up by Bulldog?
If you're Viperio, I mean, there's quite a few picks you can take into it, so I'm not really gonna name anything specifically. Silas can do not too bad into it if it remains unbanned and unpicked in the fourth phase, as Gragas, I believe rightfully so, banned away here. Let's see now. Silas actually being picked up on the Bulldog side, so pick taken away from Viperio. Have to see now how they decide to respond to the picks on the table. Does potentially mean jungle's being left last, but I would imagine Silas is going into that role, and Ego Speed's being given the counter pick on the top side. As Lulu's being hovered, I think it's more of a new pick. Yeah, there you go.
Cassiopeia.
Better
Much
pick,
more standard.
Cassiopeia. Yeah, and Kenrio now, typically been on split pushes, if I recall, most of his picks this split, so it wouldn't be too surprised to see someone like a Camille locked in. Just someone that can stay pretty safe and dominate in the later stages of the game, as looks like another placeholder. We'll have to wait for confirmation if that does get locked in, which seems like the answer will be. Could be quite a few things.
Top.
Unless we're seeing Jarvan top and a Mumu jungle, that would be the dream, I would imagine, for you, Doxa. Good old Mumu gameplay.
I love Amumu. I'll be your friend, Amumu. Don't worry.
Oh, bless. Such a sad mummy. No friends.
I know.
That does pull on the good old heartstrings, but time is ticking down. Bulldogs just deciding on what they want to pick up here last, but
They want to dodge.
they want to dodge. We don't get to see what it is, and imagine it will be something in Max's pretty extensive champion pool. Be pretty funny to see Nocturne top pulled out here just for the
I
the
love
giggles.
Nocturne top. I actually play that in solo queue sometimes.
You brave man.
It's actually really good. It's actually really good.
It's fun. I don't know about good.
It depends on the matchup. You want to ban away Akali because Akali just destroys you.
Yeah, Kali does do that to a lot of top
But-
laners, it
but-
feels like.
Urgot is a really good matchup for the Nocturne top.
Yeah.
It sounds like it isn't, but it is. Trust me. Don't try it in your solo queue games and come like attacking me on Twitter. It's like this didn't work out.
Yeah, no, don't try that one at home.
Just leave it to me and maybe Vedius.
Leave it to Vedius. Vedius is known as the
doesn't-
Nocturne connoisseur.
But
Pick
I'm
ban
also the
just
type
being
of
ran
person.
through again. Wait on that, but go ahead. I cut you off.
I'm the type of person that would want the Mumu locked in.
Yes.
Just because you could just bandage toss in and just even if you're not going full AP, just the amount of CC and chaos that you can cause. I just really like that. But that's the play-by-play in me, talking.
you want to get the chaotic play-by-plays going.
Exactly.
I
Just
see
go
you.
with the Clown Fiesta games instead of.
We don't need the analysis. It's just all the explosive elements. I get it.
I mean, you could talk a little bit with the team fights.
Mm-hmm. Can indeed.
Wait,
I'm unsure. We'll just let it play out. I'm not sure. Cameras,
There's-
I believe, still on us, but we'll just
Yep.
don't worry. I know.
it's.
We'll see if
We'll see if they notice first thing.
Yeah. may just be a completely new draft. Maybe some
Could be.
errors in communication there.
We'll have to check with production and see what's going on.
Yeah, gonna have to wait, but till then, I think you guys get to stare at our beautiful faces a little bit longer.
Yes. Just
But-
stare at Yamada. I won't blame you for that.
There we go. All right, lobby was remade, so I think they've
Okay, guys,
realized the error of their ways now.
They
But,
finally noticed it took them most of the first ban phase that they banned out their own AD carry by accident.
It's fine. It happens. Can't be
To name names, it was on the side of Viperia.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, I mean, if you know, you know, it was the top laner. Just gonna bring him out now and just name and shame.
Yep.
Do apologize for the delay. We'll be with you the full draft lineups as soon as we can be.
Just going through the motions at this point. You'd think
Yep.
that they would actually just ban out all the A champions. That's usually what people do if they want to just do it that way. But I think because they
seems
didn't
like
lock
they're
in the
keeping-
last one, they're just.
Seems like they're keeping the bans the same, so helps us out a little
It's great
bit.
for us, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good for us and the viewers, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what Ego Speed decides to take last pick here. Of course, counter pick handed to him on the red side.
And we don't yet know what that Amumu was. So
Yeah, we don't even know what the Amumu was. So
could
top
be
lane
Amumu
matchup
top.
at the moment. Could be a move.
I mean, after
Uh,
that last series, NSG versus Click, anything could happen. They went Katarina, they went Nasus, they went AP Malphite.
AP Malphite. There's some bonkers picks going on, but
Looks like it was Vladimir locked in.
yeah,
And Nunu.
Silas appears to be flexed into the top lane. Nunu opens up in the jungle, so I eat my words saying Silas is more than likely going into the jungle. Guess after today's first 3 games, we can't be too certain on where everything's going.
That's a lot of AP coming out from the side of Bulldog.
I'd say both teams actually. Solo laners are AP.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Nunu does aid to that
His-
AP damage profile.
Yeah. But I like the Nunu because it's so niche and so unusual to see that people generally either don't know how to play against it or forget how to play against it. So once you see the snowball, you're kind of like, oh, I'm just dead now, aren't I?
Yeah, and of course, it is a pretty good one-to-one matchup to Jarvan
Mhm.
too. More of a solo queue pickup than something you would typically see in comp. Of course, something like Gragas or Xi or Elise are the 3 jungle champions that come to mind when you think about early matchups for jungle, but
Mm-hmm.
Nunu here, the choice for Bulldogs. And if I recall, the last time these 2 teams played, it was the pair of us on cast, and it was a pretty bloody game.
Yeah, I'm expecting a bloody series.
So
from
I'm
both these teams.
expecting an even bloodier series. So entertain. The hope is that it does go to 3 games against probably the wishes of
Kind of what I'm
both of our
expecting.
voices, but
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting though, because Bulldog is coming in at a 4-3 profile, and 5-2 is the scoreline for Viperio. So they're only one game, 1 win, 1 loss between these two teams. So they should be around the same power level. But then again, we did just see Click drop a game for the first time in the season to one of our teams that was bottom of the pile for quite a number of weeks, and just because they got the correct wins, that they made their way to the semifinals.
yeah, and that's the beauty of League of Legends, though. Either team can win, even if it does seem incredibly one-sided before you do go into the game. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just call it lag and go next.
call it lag. Go next. We are in spec delay, so
Who doesn't love spec delay?
do
It's
love
the
it. but
best thing ever.
It does give us more of an opportunity to run on and give a little more insight into how the game will more than likely be played out.
Right.
You would
just
imagine
drop some
that
knowledge bombs for us.
dropping some knowledge bombs. All right, so coming out from the Viperio side, you'd probably expect that the Vladimir kind of just gets left on an island, relatively speaking. As the Jarvan, you'd
That's
probably want to
usually what
focus
top lane
around.
does.
Yeah, the usual top lane things. You're the imagine that Viperio jungler here just wants to focus around this Braum Lucian lane, especially it being into Zyra Khan. You want to do your best to keep this Zyra Khan lane down. You also probably want to keep this Cassiopeia safe. Of course, Syndra is a pick that can hard punish the Cassiopeia, so eyes truly will be on Jarvan to keep his mid and bottom lane safe, whereas Kenryo, I would imagine, the responsibility would be on him to just safely farm up and scale. And overall, the scaling on the side of Viperio is pretty good. You've got Jarvan, Lucian, Braum sort of prop up the early to mid game to give what you'd hope is a pretty smooth transition for Cassio and Vladimir to slowly take over. And on the side of Bulldogs, a little more early power on the top side of the map, with Xayah and Syndra more or less giving the scaling option for them.
So
It'll
where
be
are we expecting the
interesting.
early pressure from the Noon and Willump? Is that more towards the mid lane, top side? You said that we're expecting J4 to be pathing towards the bottom side, so do you think you might want to match that? How's the early game going to play out for Go Commit?
So there's a few things he can do. He's got a pretty versatile setup in a lot of these lanes, so pathing options are pretty wide, and he can play to just deny the Jarvan ganks towards the mid and bottom side of the map and just stick around and match him wherever he goes. I would probably like to see him try and abuse the Vladimir at least once. Blow a flash or something can give Ego Speed the room to truly abuse the Vladimir pick on Silas. Silas, of course, pretty powerful pick, and we saw it last night too. Governor, ours truly, did pull out quite the stellar
popped
performance
off,
himself.
yeah.
Yeah. 2 triple kills and a 1v3 tower dive to his name. Defended by.
Just there on production, just like, guys, stop talking
He's,
about me.
he just said, stop talking about me, guys, please, my ego, no. But Silas, of course, pretty powerful pick. So if you can get that snowballing, there are quite a few powerful ultimates you can steal away. The Cataclysm, Petrifying Gaze, Hemo
Culling
Plague,
as well.
just to name the 3, and even the Culling can be pretty powerful on Silas. So
I think there's a lot of different ultimates you can steal away for different reasons. Like the Braum ultimate as well, if you want to go for a more full-on team fight engage as well, is quite useful, if nothing else.
yeah, exactly. So a lot of options afforded to the Silas pick. And it would be pretty good, I would imagine, if Bulldogs do decide to try and open up the Silas pick and show him a little jungle love. Do have to imagine that priorities might be to stop the Lucian Braum lane from snowballing.
Gotta report Krug's expert and Gould for not matching skins though.
Yes, I do
Star
agree.
Guardian Zaya and IG Rakan.
Yeah,
Then
I don't think the
Disco
stream can quite see it yet, but of course, no matching skins on a Zyra Khan lane. You got to feel.
Yeah, it's over already.
Yeah, signs of immediate no synergy in the bot lane. It's pretty disappointing to go into, but it does happen. Speaking of skins, hi new Lucian.
I love that skin.
Pretty
It's
common
actually
save.
such a cool skin.
Yeah, very smooth skin. One of my, I'd say probably my favorite next to Project, and the new the Miami Vice skin.
I don't care for that skin.
Really? I think it's pretty smooth.
I play a decent amount of Lucian. I just don't care for it.
Fair enough. To each their own. I think that it's
I've
definitely in
every,
his top 3
every
skin.
other Lucian skin. A top 3? No, I wouldn't do. No, it's the worst skin if anything.
Oh wow! All right. Well,
Just my
Yeah.
opinion. Controversial,
Yeah.
strong opinions about Lucian skins.
yeah. Opinionated opinions aside, I'm not gonna turn this into a debate about skins before we get into the game. Nothing too fishy from either of the teams. Just the standard level 1. See an early base from the Lucian actually, and the Jarvan, both placing their wards and recalling for sweepers. A little bit peculiar to see Aether do it. It's very uncommon, I believe. I don't often see
3 of them
AD
did it.
carriers. 3 of them actually, yeah,
Interesting.
correct. So, perhaps spelling a future play to go down. Be interesting to see how exactly they decide to go about that. So definitely keep an eye on that. For the meantime, nothing too fishy. No wards really placed by Bulldogs until that Tribush ward, just to spot out any kind of cheese going on, but relatively light leash too for
Very light leash.
the Jarvan. Literally just handed the concussive blows and told to get on with it. Aether, I think, fully aware that bot lane are kind of just waiting there.
Yeah, just waiting in the brush. Has the Gleaming Quill available at level 1, so we'll be able to get a knock-up right at them to make a play.
No
Now
aggressive
an early
level 1.
invade coming from the J4.
Yes.
Electro left.
Straight from the red to the new blue. I believe completely unspotted, so Bulldogs aren't going to have any idea that that's going on as the
Yeah,
trade.
because of blows. Actually, he didn't opt in for the Gleaming Quill. That's the pretty usual one. Has the Grand Entrance instead. So managed to find the knockup.
Find them knock up. Not best trade in the world. Aether did have to use his pot and see a level 2 mid.
Yeah, Flag Drag gets the knockup. Has to flash away. Flashes forward. Disco Dano in a lot of trouble, burning down. Pot will save his life.
Yeah, pretty surprised that Jarvan doesn't follow flash that one. Seemed pretty free if I'm honest. Already flashed. Seemed like the distance could be closed and could have picked up first blood, but opting to hold on to the flash for now. But certainly a bit of a peculiar choice, if you were to ask me. Take a look at the minimap. Nunu coming in.
Yeah, but he's playing towards that top side of the mid lane. So we'll just be able to back away.
No gank to be found, and Electrolyte just seems to be coming back into Shadow. Actually just seems like push out the lane entirely, but we are getting an extended look at the bottom laners. We do describe the events of the minimap. Both junglers now also looking to try and get their hands on the bottom skull. Seems like Jarvan will win out on that. Bottom lane priority for him.
Really gonna help him out a huge amount there. Get additional vision as well as that additional experience from the Rough Skull. But the other one at the top side will be taken by Go Commit Jungle, so not gonna lose out too much on that.
Yeah, and Jarvan also, quick note here, did actually get the triple buff, so no blue buff available, I believe, for Go Commit. Also took up a bunch of minion XP in the mid lane, so he is already level 4. You see Kenru just hand away there for a second. Getting bullied out early by this Silas is pretty common. He can sustain up as long as he's not eating too much poke. He will be safe in that lane. But certainly something he does have to be aware of. Can't underestimate the early Silas damage. He does ever get jumped onto.
And just for this entire game, just in the back of my head is Ego Speed has to try and play a better Silas than Governor did. And Scrunchy abuser in the middle lane.
Ooh.
Gets hit by the snowball. Out comes the rest of the snowballs. This should be first blood. Will be given over to Go Commit Jungle.
Yeah, and no flash on the Cassiopeia, and no real way to stop the snowball coming in. So, hugging the side, I believe, where no vision, and Nunu just gets an easy snowball in, followed up by the Sky of the Week, and it's an easy pickup.
Yeah, it's a good push. of the lack of vision that Scrunchy Abuser had, and now recalling from the side of Gould and Krug's expert, there is the Infernal Drake will be spawning.
Yep. Infernal Dragon. Pretty big there. You'd probably favor, as things stand, Viperio with the bottom, how much bottom lane priority they've had thus far to perhaps get an inside track on it, as long as the middle lane doesn't get bullied out too hard. But as I actually say that immediately, slide up by the Viperio side.
Just trying to sneak it away here. He did use the Blast Plant, I think, to get over the wall. Either that or he used the Flag and Drag, but as you said earlier, they had the bot lane priority, so they're able to just pick this up without any congestion coming out from Bulldog.
And had the timing on the enemy bot lane base, as well as knowing that the Nunu would probably be recalling off of the gank. And good initiative there to just walk into the middle lane, Dragon.
But
With this.
good ultimate, but we'll only get the slow. One more hit will do it as Tides of Blood comes through, as well as using the pool. We'll find one kill across the map, and now 1-for-1, and that means Viperio are sitting in a good spot.
Yeah, Infernal Dragon picked up a failed gank attempt, which ends up turning in the favor of Scrunchy Abuser, Cassio, just picking up what I believe was just straight up a solo kill.
Yeah, I think there wasn't any assist going off to anyone else, and yeah, seems like it was literally just that solo kill and then a failed gank attempt by Go Commit Jungle afterwards.
Yeah. On the top side, we did see Ego Speed pull the Hemo Plague out Kenrua and use it in an attempt to bring him down, but was unsuccessful, so not going to have that tool available to him now to attempt to push any kind of solo advantage, and I believe did also blow a flash trying to do it. Kenrua held on to his, so...
Good dash away from Aether there just to get away from the grand entrance, so the knockup wouldn't connect, and edging towards the level 6 mark for both these bot laners on the side of Viperio. Once they reach that, they can really start to go for these more aggressive plays, because you have the knockup from the Braum ultimate. Once again, just going for these guys in the middle lane.
Really trying to bully out the Cassio here, and I mean, it is the favorable matchup, but Nunu's going a little bit
Yeah,
far.
really far, but
The jungle is just...
Electro is just ignoring him. He doesn't care. In comes the teleport from Kenrudo, though. This should be a kill going over his hero, and flash over the wall, going so aggressively, but Scrunchy Abuser flashes away as well. Electro in a lot of trouble, but we'll find the drag to take him down.
Some pretty comical stuff right there. Both the junglers just say, I want the enemy mid lane, and walk straight past each other, just sort of like a handshake for what seemed like forever, but focus did go down onto both of them. Jarvan does pick up Syndra in the top river. I'm sorry, that was so fun.
Really close. That was really close for Electro.
Yeah, and quite a fiesta. I've ever seen one, and great
That's
trends.
what we were expecting coming into this series, though. As you said in Champion Select, last time, we'll talk about that in a second, Cullen comes out, comes up top, is towards the middle lane. No available up for Scrunchy. He'll just be taken down with the Kingslayer and the passive. But the last time that we were casting these two teams when they played against each other, it was just a clown fiesta and so many kills going. We were so bloodthirsty. That's what we're expecting from this series.
And we might not have the same amount of kills, but I think the entertainment's in and around the same levels as what we got from that game and series just passed. So I'm looking forward to the game as it rolls on. Kenrua probably going to get the better of this trade.
It's a good Sanguine pool. Just get away from the Abscond and Abduct.
Yeah. Nothing too scary, but you'd imagine now teams, 1 minute to go, have their eyes on the Rift Herald, the next spawning objective. Bottom lane
the
from...
rotation.
Yeah, the rotation can happen. You'd imagine, bottom lane, yeah, Aether, recalling now, so... I'd like to see him walk up to the top side of the map, as Bulldog's bottom lane are still on the bottom side. Can have the numbers advantage for that, as we see gank in the mid lane.
Cataclysm comes through, in comes the Snowball as well, but we'll hit into the Cataclysm. Electro picks up his second kill of the game. Go commit jungle in a lot of trouble here, trying to find a return kill. Scrunchy Abuser will be going down, but Go commit jungle will surely follow. Double kill for Electro.
Yeah, and Nunu damage, just saying, might be Cinderhulk, but I'm still gonna take away 400, 500 HP if you stand in this, what's it called, Absolute Zero?
Absolutely
Nunu
zero, I
Ornament,
think so, yeah.
Scrunchy just getting a little bit too close for comfort, and Go Commit just letting him know who the alpha is between the two. I see a Rift Herald start.
Yeah, but Ego Speed has other ideas for that. No mana available for Electro Athletic, and Steals Away the Cataclysm will use it. Flash not available for the J4 either, but Braum is nearby. So much damage already from Ego Speed. He'll surely be giving his life over for this. Kingslayer is available just to heal back up, but Kenrudo says, no, you are my second kill of the game.
And Ego Speed does manage to stop the Rift Herald attempt. There is still quite a lot of vision around the top side, but if you take a look at that bottom tower, it's just getting hammered away at by Ghoul and Cat. And lose four plates actually off this push. I believe the tower's full HP almost, so a lot of joint gold going over between this bot lane. I think they're just going to end up getting the entire tower. I mean, Viperio just
Very nearly.
No one's even really close to responding. Munch is on his way now.
Mountain Drake has been started up by Go Commit Jungle. They have the pressure with the rotation from Disco Dano coming down as well, and they will just take this tier 1 tower, get the first brick as well, but in comes the Syndra from the side, who can't really afford to stick around here, even with the low health on Krug's Expert.
Yeah, and if there is any bonus, it does seem like they will pick up the Herald, and I'm going to have to hold my next point, because it seems like Scrunchy might be in some trouble.
Yeah. Just push a little too far forward, doesn't have the flash, just trying to wait out the snowball as Rift Herald goes down, out comes the Feather Storm. Pulling connects as well as the ultimate from the Braum. They look at the tower dive, this flashes forward, heal as well, just to be sure he gets out alive, but 2 summoners burned from Gould for the kill. It's all that worth it. His outcome to Petrifying Gaze, flash forward, Krug's Expert will miss.
Wait, this
with
is the wrong side of the
knockup.
map.
Yeah, it is, but misses it up, sconded up, ducked. Kingslayer just to heal up a little bit. Scrunchy Abuser once again just caught out and taken down.
Yeah, just completely in no man's land, and Jarvan's actually going to take a bunch of plays for himself. He's just saying, hey, I mean, no one's down here, so I may as well.
May as
And
well.
that's the Herald. But Scrunchy ends up on the top side of the map after an extended chase, as Ego Speed's gonna teleport on pretty low HP to try and defend this.
Yeah, flag drag through, Cataclysm comes through as well, flashes forward, but the Kingslayer heals him up so much. Aether will help the jungler pick up the kill. He'll just teleport in just to lose his life and lose quite a number of stacks on the tower and the top side too.
Yeah, I mean, I would understand if he was full HP, maybe had an ultimate available to steal, but neither of those, and pretty much just gives over his life for naught. I mean, Viperio could have even stuck around to take the tower, I feel, if they really wanted to. Bit of a half moment from Ego Speed there, but I think we all have those.
From time to time we do.
Yeah, will happen to the best of us. Giving over his life is the end result.
And because of that, he lost 3 tower plates, I think, on that top tower.
Yeah, I believe at the very least 2. 3 may have been the worst case there, but off screen, I believe, completely. Bulldogs did pick up the Mountain Dragon that was happening during the bottom tier 1 tower take alongside the Herald, so Mountain gonna give them options for around the Baron time and any future dragons, which may be of their liking. Gold lead sits relatively equal, and you're already 800 gold in it.
He's trying to take his own blue buff, but Dokuma Jungle is just like, nah, I'm just gonna take this for myself with the chomp. I like the rotation of the bot lane towards the top side, but I feel like it's almost a little bit too early at this point because of the 2-minute spawn timer left on the Mountain Drake. And yes, you want to pick up this tower, but is it the right decision at this point?
I think it's fine, as we see Kenru looking to get a little bit aggressive.
A lot of damage.
Flash available.
Goes down. Yeah, Featherstorm comes through. Can use the Blade Collar as well, but Sanguine Pool will dissuade it. In comes the Nunu from the side. Flash available now for Kenrudo if he wants to try and escape. If he needs to use it, will use it eventually to get to safety. And that was a good gank. Blew the flash.
Yeah. Kenru not quite realizing yet, despite him being quite strong at this stage of the game. He's not quite that late game Vladimir fantasy.
Not just yet, but he's trying to heal up with the transfusions, trying to save this tower, ties of blood just to clear the way.
And
But
Aether's
here comes
here.
Aether, yeah, out comes the culling. Once the target Gould, though, will not be able to hit any further. Goes forward with the Proto Belt, Sanguine Pool. Despite a little bit of space, his Krug's Expert will go down, and that's a kill apiece.
Yeah, Aether just comes back from the bottom side of the map after taking the tower to assist his top laner, and no respect really from the Bulldogs bottom lane that could be going on, and they get caught out.
Just Blast Plant to safety. Munch was almost caught out there, but they will
he
get a
knows his limit.
reply tower kill. So that's now 2 towers to 1 in favor of Viperia there.
Yeah, and just a moment ago I said not much in it, only really 800 gold, but oh how quickly it's inflated, almost 3k as things stand. Tower and kills doing that. All of a sudden the game doesn't look oh so promising if you are a Bulldogs fan.
Now,
Still
20
not too
seconds
much in it.
to Drake, so that will help them out for any sieging they want to do. Will want to pick that up for the side of Viperia though for future Baron takes, especially with the fact that you have a Cassiopeia with you.
Of course, you definitely do want that if you are Viperio, Cassiopeia, and Lucian at the 20-minute mark with an item or two. Can definitely melt a Baron, so do want to get their hands on that. It's a bit of poke for that Viperio, but nothing too serious.
They're just gonna give up this Drake, using their physical presence just to pressure them away from the objective, and nothing they can do to try and contest this, so they will give over that Mount Drake. Like this goes in with the grand entrance.
Whoa!
Right, though that's a big cataclysm, but is it enough? Out comes the Sub-Zero. Does so much damage. That's 3 kills now for Bulldog. Looking for any further one as Krug's Expert, but look at the Hemoplague double kill now, and they're just popping everyone. That's the ace. Bulldogs took the fight, but then they lost it.
My goodness, that Hemoplague at the back end of that fight, but Bulldogs, the fight looks so good for them, and a lot of almost being thrown down. Cataclysm seemed like it trapped almost everybody in that fight, and clear absence was that Kenruro wasn't there for the primary engage and just sits in the Dragon Pit, waits for everybody to chase down Aether, and as soon as they take the bait, just comes out from Fog inside of the pit and gets 3-man, 4-man Hemoplague, and the damage that follows is just plain disgusting. Entire Bulldogs lineup just gets wiped.
He has 10 stacks on his Dark Seal at this point. In his pocket, he has almost 2,200 gold left unspent. He has 6 and 0. He can pick up his Spellbinder when he backs. He can even almost go for a Rabadon's early if he decided to go that way.
He's got enough gold for a death cap. Right now, I'll just do it. If you're Kenruro, you just sit in base and you wait for that death cap gold. And I think that's what he's doing too. Yeah, there you go. Death cap in the inventory, so... I said no more than 3 or 4 minutes ago, Vlad's not really at that late game fantasy, but 18 minutes in, Death Cap, Proto Belt, 10 stacks on a Dark Seal with 10 boots, and Vladimir
He's
now
feeling
truly
pretty
online.
good at this point, man.
You know, it would really... I'm gonna keep quiet, just, you never know, fights can go back and forth, but I'm gonna hold on to any potential joke that I can afford myself just yet. But Vladimir is certainly a scary factor now of the Viperio side. And
He is the first player in this game to pick up a second item.
yes.
So he's looking pretty scary. They're looking for the fight though here. Quickness will be denied by Glacial Fissure. And that's a lot of damage from the culling. Great Cataclysm onto 2. Blade Caller will do so much damage to Electro Athlip. He's just gonna buy some time with the stopwatch, and they will trade a couple of kills.
Yeah, and you see the fight go like that, and you may start to wonder, how do Bulldogs even come back into a game where Vladimir is so large and Lucian's dealing so much damage, you can't really dive into a Braum Cassiopeia? Like, where are your ins right now? Very difficult stuff when the enemy team can kind of do what you want to do whilst dissuading exactly what you're doing.
exactly the opposite of where you want to be.
Yeah. So. Very, very difficult spot to be in if you're Bulldogs right now.
So what do they do at this point? Because they're growing to almost 6,000 gold in the hole. 17 kills to 8. They're down in a Feral Drake as well. And there's pretty insane scaling coming out from Viperio with the Cassiopeia and with the Vladimir. What do you do on the side of Bulldog to try and come back into this game? Yes, you have a Syndra and Zaya, but is it enough? Can you stall it out long enough?
The only realistic thing they can do is just pray for some kind of, almost at this stage, you're looking at a miracle. The gold lead might not necessarily indicate that, but the game state does. It's one of those missions where you might have to just sit on a pink ward and hope that somebody on the Viperio lineup just face checks and get a free pick and it delays the game long enough.
Ego Speed will just have to channel his best governor in this game and hope that he can 1 versus 3 at some point. Pick up a couple of kills, maybe even a triple.
Yeah, maybe. Of course, we did mention he does have some pretty impactful ults to steal away. Cataclysm and Petrifying Gaze probably being the most impactful, but...
That's the flash away from this Cataclysm. Unleashed Power will do a sizable amount of damage, but Aether now dominating 2 members of your team at 6-0 at 21 minutes in, and you're feeling good, but in comes the flanking teleport from Ego Speed, looking for a fight here. We'll steal away the Cataclysm, we'll use it, locks 2 in, but J4 will eventually go down. Prince of Top will take everyone out, but just losing so much for it. Goku Jungle eventually going down. I think that's the triple kill unofficially for the Lucian, and that's the ace for 1.
Darksoul, they might opt to try and end the game right here.
Oh, you guys just
no.
quit the game.
Oh no, that's never a promising sign. I mean, Viperio could opt to do it, but it doesn't even seem like they're looking to end the game right here, so...
I think Ego Speed assumed that they were gonna end, or maybe he has a connection issue. There would have been a pause.
Okay, they'll probably
comes a
pause.
reconnect.
I'd imagine it's probably a reconnect issue. Did do it whilst he was dead, so... A little bit further away from a rage quit, or perhaps you do get the pause bug where someone DQs. Not DQs, sorry, DCs, and...
It's game 1, Ego Speed. Still have another one.
Yeah, yes, there will be another one, so... Can't be leaving
at
just
least one more.
At least one more, so... Can't be giving up just yet, but... As things stand, this game's not looking too great.
Just looking a bit rough right now.
Yeah, a little rough is... one of the terms to describe this game.
I mean, he did pretty well in that last team fight. He was melting the health bars of Viperio, but he just couldn't do enough, and then it was just the ace.
Yeah. Baron being started up, you'd imagine, looking at the minimap, it's pretty much a freebie for Viperio, and even if Ego Speed is finding those pretty half-decent engages where he's dealing a lot of damage, his team's still got to worry about the likes of a Vladimir, Jarvan diving on his own backline. Aether and Munch supporting that dive, as Silas can kind of be dealt with by 1 or 2 champions. Whereas it's going to take multiple, realistically, to deal with Vladimir and this state, who has, just a side note, has a cross dealer.
And he's just 1v1ing Goku Jungle. He actually doesn't care that any of the team members are nearby. And that's a 3-man Cataclysm. Out comes the Glacial Fissure, and they just really don't care. Don't even have anyone in the Sub-Zero for Goku Jungle. The triple kill comes through for Kenrudo. Almost able to get the Quadra, but...
kind of just denied it, but that's going to be all she wrote for.
That's going to be the first game, yeah. So, we'll talk about it once the game actually ends, about what they can do for Bulldog to try and come back in this series and try and maybe get a win on the board, make it 2-1 if nothing else.
Yeah, and that's definitely not how you want to open up a game in any series. Such a dominating performance from Viperio. Bulldogs felt like as soon as they fell behind, there was no real in for them to truly come back. And
Do you think it
Vladimir
was a
scale,
draft issue?
perhaps. There's definitely some things you could look at and poke a little bit of questions in terms of certain picks. Of course, you would immediately look at something like the Nunu, but it is comfort.
Mhm.
So,
I don't think the Nunu performed poorly.
though, yeah, the Nunu in the game definitely wasn't the per se issue, but you do wonder, are there any other picks that could do anything where
I feel like
issue
the Syndra
perhaps
was
in,
too heavily punished by the Cassiopeia.
which is pretty strange because Syndra is often a matchup where into Cassiopeia you're pretty
Mhm.
comfortable. And it's the Cassiopeia that's supposed to not really have that much breathing room inside the matchup, but here you are seeing Cassiopeia just outright 2v1 in some cases and really making it look like an unfair matchup when in reality it should be the opposite way around.
We're gonna go to a quick break now between the games, and can Bulldog come back in the series, take it maybe to 2-1, maybe actually take it 2-1 themselves and make their way to the final, or will it be Viperio being your second finalist for the UKEL inaugural split? We'll be back in just a couple of short minutes. Don't go anywhere.
fell in love cause you look so fine. So darling, please don't mind. I fell in love maybe once or twice. But you look so fine. You are the sunshine in my life. Will you come over to my place at 9? You are the sunshine in my life. Will you come over to my place at 9? At 9, after 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 9. Oh, I fell in love cause you look so fine. So darling, please don't mind. I fell in love maybe once or twice. But you look so fine. You are the sunshine in my life. Will you come over to my place at 9? You are the sunshine in my life. Will you come over to my place at 9? At 9, at 9, after 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 9
If I say goodbye, then make me a lie, make me a lie. My heart's heating up, this love is on fire, love is on fire.
No one is coming to save you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Champion Select for our second game. It is, of course, Bulldog versus Viperio.
Yeah, and second game, pretty one-sided. Viperio just took over the game pretty slowly in the early stages, but once they had the reins, they never really held up and took the game in what was around, I want to say, 25 to 26 minutes. On our screens right now, we've got Xayah first pick from Viperia. Of course, both these teams staying on the same side, and Cassiopeia, and looks like Silas going to be the second lock in here for Go Commit. And bans in terms of adaptations, Jarvan and Lucian removed from the hands of Aphar and God. I said it first. Electrolyte or butchering names, but the jungler of Electro Athlete. Okay.
That's how I pronounce it anyway.
Yeah, no,
Electro,
you're
then
right.
Ath, and then Let. Yeah.
You're right. But Olaf this time seems like is going to be his choice of junglers, and pretty early Orianna lock-in, as Cassiopeia is not really solidified and where she will go, but Viperio feeling pretty comfortable to lock in the Orianna now, so it will be the choice of mid laners for themselves. No real surprises out of the draft that Bulldogs have to really worry about. All of these picks are pretty much set in stone really, on where they'll be.
Yeah, with the Aurelia locked in, I think it's pretty obvious where everyone's going, unless they want to put Cassiopeia top lane or Aurelia mid or something weird like that.
I mean, there's still quite a bit of flexibility out of the Bulldogs roster. A lot can be done. I'm not gonna go too off the rails, but maybe Sejuani support with Aurelia bot would be pretty fun to see. But
Do you want to see a Sejuani support?
no,
We've seen it.
No,
AP,
but
AP Sejuani support.
I'm here for the clown fiestas, so if it does happen, I know I'm gonna be happy. But
I'm not sure what I think of the Olaf, because usually when you see Olafs, they want to make a marker early, but then they just kind of fall flat and they're just at level 8 and they're wandering around kind of like, what do I do now?
well, Olaf's got a pretty good jungle matchup into Silas, which is more than likely the reason it's been locked in, and post 6, of course, can negate the effects of the petrifying gaze, and all in all is a pretty messy jungler. Does like to get inside and get those scraps going in the jungle. So
Your worst
that's
decision will haunt you.
grounds for excitement early on.
Ban away the Nunu, I like it.
Yeah, no Nunu going to be available this time. No peculiar junglers, but that does say to me that they're thinking Cassio might actually end up in not the middle lane. And Silas isn't going to be in the jungle if Nunu's actually being removed here.
So you think Cassiopeia AD
A
carry?
few question marks, personally, if you ask me, with Orianna them being locked in the third slot, but I'm not here to critique the drafts, I'm here to analyze them.
Oh, you're here to critique them as well, my friend.
Ah, okay, alright, well, there you go. That being said, Orianna pick is potentially a bit premature, but if Scrunchy's happy to blind it,
I think you can
Or
low-key flame.
potentially blind it, then it is his choice and his coach's choice. Pike looks like going to be the lock-in for Cat, Krug's expert.
It feels like they just want to go all-out aggression.
Yeah.
Just Bulldog is like, we gotta bring out the big guns, boys, so we're just gonna lock in Aurelia, Pike, Silas, Cassio, and we'll blow them up before they can even think.
Yeah, I agree. And for all of the change-ups and bans, the previous KO ban currently being hovered as it is up, but Kled gonna
Probably
be the
better
pickup
choice.
here. Yeah, and I mean, of all the current free potential solo laners of Bulldog, Kled has, I would say, a pretty happy matchup into almost all of them. So Kled makes for a pretty good blind top here, and Xayah gonna be paired up with Barom in this game, which a bit peculiar that the Braum comes in with the Pike showing. It's not the best of matchups, but can of course make it work. Timer just ticking down now for Bulldog's final response. This will, of course, give away roughly where everything should be going, unless we get a truly bonkers pick.
Unless they don't know themselves.
Unless they don't even know themselves, and alright, it's probably just gonna be Cassio bot. I'm not gonna try and hype it up too much. So Cassio seems gonna be in the hands of Gould, and gonna be a Pike Cassio bottom lane to match the Xayah Braum, and Irelia gonna be going into the middle lane versus Orianna. So let's say it's the dangers of taking that Orianna in third slot with the 2 flexes that came from the Bulldogs draft in the 1-2 slot.
And I like that they did it this way because then they can get the counter pick with Jax.
Yeah, so Jax, of course. Pretty good counter pick into Kled. Kled, of course, still can win out the early game pretty hard, so it's going to be dependent on
Need to
how
wait back.
well... Yeah, depends on how well Ego Speed knows the matchup and how he navigates trades and extended fights inside of the lane. But all in all, I think both of these teams are pretty happy with their drafts, and I don't know about you, I see some pretty big team fighting ultimates here. Charge, Shockwave,
Even
Irelia
Sun
ultimate,
the other way up,
Petrifying
I think.
Gaze. They're from below. There's a lot going on in this game. So
And you know the names. I like that. Usually it's just the
Cool.
players that know it, and then it's just like, oh, it's the Cassiopeia ult, Pike ult.
yeah, no, I've gotta be savvy to these things. Can't be B-rate, so gotta come in
Bulldogs
clutch with as much knowledge as I can.
just makes your knowledge seem a bit more top tier.
But yeah,
Bulldogs are coming into this with their backs against the wall because it is just a best of 5. They can't just lose a couple of games in a row and come back stronger. So they need to win this game to stay in the series.
they need this game to stay in the series. If they drop this game, that's it. They're out. Go
Well,
into
they're in the
the
third
third,
place.
fourth. Yeah.
Yeah.
No chance for them to pick up the title or a second place medal, which I don't know about you. I'll probably rather come third than second. Don't know. Coming second feels pretty rough.
It
Means
does,
that
but then
potentially you had a chance to come first and you didn't. More often than not.
I'd rather come at the point that I feel is acceptable given who I've played against. Because if I feel like if I'm better than the team that's in second and I'm in third or fourth, then I'm going to be saying to myself, I should be where they are. Or if I think I'm better than the one in first, especially I'd be kind of racking my head, being like, you should be in the finals even if you don't win.
Yeah, it's
So
a
I don't know
reasonable,
if I'd agree with
reasonable
being third over
reply.
second.
But coming into the game, I do have to say I am quite liking the Bulldog draft. There was so much flexibility. I'm not too sure really how Viperio felt about it. Draft ankles, hypothetically, I feel like we're broken.
I like
Goes
the
to
mix of
show.
damage as well. They aren't just full AD heavy, they aren't just full AP heavy, so it's nice mix of damage there. But is it easier to execute the Bulldog draft or the Viperio draft? I think that's pretty crucial to this particular game.
I would definitely say the Viperio draft. It's more close to a standard 5v5 comp, whereas Bulldogs, they're probably more comfortable split pushing until they do get core items that allow them to actually take 5v5s. But when you've got 3 champions, which are effectively divers, versus Bromzaya and Noriana Shockwave, I'm not
You're
too
not
sure
gonna feel
how
very
comfortable
good.
you feel taking 5v5 opportunities.
And also to the Kled as well. He can dive relatively easily as well if he wants to. If he wants to bring Electrolith towards that top side and try and punish Prince of Top early.
Yeah. So a lot of options, and it does seem far easier to execute the Viperio draft, but certainly can't underestimate the raw power that the Bulldogs champions have.
Very solo Q-esque team comp from Bulldog.
Perhaps. I'd say it's relatively solo queue, but a lot of these champions do have a fair bit of presence inside of competitive play, so if they do get a 1-3-1 going, I would like to think that they'll do pretty well, especially Jax. Infamous for his lamppost bopping on the tower.
And he has the God Jack skin as well, so he automatically
And
wins.
you know, yeah, you see the god skin and shivers down your spine if you're Kenrua right there. We'll be heading into this one. Doesn't seem like there's going to be any kind of stacking anywhere, so no 5-man crazy invades, which makes me sad. You do always like to see those crazy level 1s. As
Both
may
teams,
find something here.
Yeah, they're gonna meet, essentially. But they have pleasantries in the all chat.
Yeah, it's always good to
Very
see
nice.
players' sportsmanship behavior. Good old, good luck, have funds on either side. So, game being played in good spirits, win or lose. Always do like to see that in League of Legends.
I think it's easier to play this game without regrets since you can come back tomorrow and play for third place. You're not
Yep.
just straight out.
Exactly. So, do know that there's still chances to win something nonetheless. Of course. MSI prizes,
Mhm.
league sponsored by yours truly. So, it's what's up for grabs, that and the title. So, both these teams definitely looking to get their hands on those as junglers start their respective, well, I was going to say buffs, but Olaf's actually got himself a solo start onto the Raptors. Will be spoiled out by awards, so Bulldog's going to be well aware of Olaf's early pathing, especially with Predator. You would expect he just clears the bottom 3 camps and recalls. And even a ward on the Krog camp, so very well prepared to track this Olaf and his early pathing.
Yep, just want to be sure where he's going in case he wants to mix up his jungle pathing a little bit.
Doesn't seem like it's going to be the case.
I don't know, but Ego
Just-
Speed's in a little bit of trouble in the top side. Still has the mount available. Pushes him away.
Yeah. Even Ego Speed hitting level 2 first there, but ooh, power shot taken. It's not the best trade in the world. Does have Corrupting Pot and
Yeah.
Biscuits is seeing a level 2 top. It's not gonna amount to much here. He's gonna waste a lot of time here. Does mean Olaf will have even time to sneak in here. Steal away Go Commits blue buff. And is gonna be answered, but Olaf is still upper camp. Ahead on tempo at the very least, and we may even have a split map initiated here, which you'd say would favor both teams. Both these matchups, respectively, they're looking to focus on. So
Scrunchy will spot out that the blue buff is being stolen away by Go Commit jungle though, so they know exactly where Go Commit is at this point. Just down a ward just to be sure.
yeah, only even going to take away the blue buff, whereas Electro Athlete, he's getting his shopping on. He's taking the entire blue side jungle with Go Commit here, so really up in gold and already a level up. 2 camps going. He's got the skull crab to eat too, and he's gonna be having a good time. He's gonna return to his top side with camps available if he even wants to go to the top side.
But speaking of the top side, this matchup is already going in favor of Prince of Top. So he seems to be quite comfortable in the matchup and is winning on CS just about, but Naruto
May have just
spawns a
spoken a bit
pistol, yeah, maybe a
soon
little bit
here.
too soon, but jumps forward, one more artifact, flash away.
Yeah, and
I'd
even-
say he's on single digits there.
yeah, I mean, both the top
He's on
laners.
He was on
Both.
literally 2 health. Literally 2 health.
Yeah,
Half a minion auto and he would have died.
exactly. And I thought for half a moment that Prince of Top would actually drop to minion aggro, but minions were nice to him and said, "It's okay, Mr. Ego Speed. We will leave you be."
Playing it a little fast and loose, Ego Speed. I have to say.
Might have paid off the minions, as even that.
He even
Course,
said
I'm
it
not
all
sure,
the
not sure the stream. Not sure the stream can see the chat, but just so you know, Ego Speed does say, "I'm so lucky. I legitimately had 1 HP." So even he's aware of how lucky he is to be alive. Not only that, and keeping his flash. So
He's also going for the more scaling option with the cull, so
yeah,
not too surprised to see that.
it is a little bit surprising to me, but what isn't surprising that it's Ego Speed doing it. So
Yes.
just saying, I'm really confident in this lane. I'll be happy to take a immediate punch in a lane that I'm not really supposed to be winning anyway. Get
He's
the
doing
golden
really
come.
well in this matchup, even though, as you just said, he shouldn't really be doing this well. He's matching in CS and now building towards that Tiamat for Kenrudo, so he will be down in some damage, but he's not meant to be winning the early game anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's up a couple of creeps. supposed to really be down a couple of creeps. Got to give props to Ego Speed for playing out the lane as well as he has thus far. As get a pan over to the man himself inside the lane. Takes the bad end of a trade, but not gonna be the end of the world. As Olaf actually starting up the dragon, so Olaf is gonna get some assistance from his bot lane. All of that priority, of course, is off the back of the split map early on from the jungle pathing. So he's gonna pick that one up for himself, you'd imagine.
Ooh, that's a nicely timed Vanguard's Edge. Out comes the Shockwave as well. He just came back into the lane and just gonna get very, very low here. First blood. He will give up his life though, so we'll trade 1 for 1.
He'll give up his life. Does mean Scrunchy does miss out on the creeps under the tower, but Scrunchy didn't even use summons. I mean, if Scrunchy really wanted to live there, all he really had to do was press his F key and would have just healed up, or even flashing, of course.
He could have just gotten the kill for nothing.
Could have just gotten the kill for nothing, yeah. I'm really not quite sure why he's holding on to it, but it was a decision, very peculiar, but maybe he's saving it for later use, perhaps.
Yeah, Ego Speed taking a lot of damage here. Out comes the counter strike as well. No
Yeah,
chance
he's dead.
top, but yeah, he should just be going down.
Yeah.
We'll connect with the ultimate there.
Yeah, just kind of stood there and took it. Just no real items in his inventory, too.
I thought the minion aggro would help him out a little bit more, but yeah,
Ragnarok's
just gonna go down as well. Axe to the face. That's gonna do it.
of course. Olaf had a faster tempo, so no surprises that he's already level 6 at what you'd maybe call an early time, but both junglers actually having access to their ultimates already. So. Pike does end up dropping, doesn't even flash, doesn't even really get the chance to, as we're pushed into a pause.
It's just a little bit of a lag issue on the side of Bulldog, so they'll get that resolved as soon as they can. And this early game is going in favor of Viperio, but you still have the saving grace of insane scaling on the Cassiopeia. For Gould, you have the Aurelia, even though she does well early, mid, and late. And you also have, of course, the Jax in the top side that is just the saving grace of any game in late game scaling. Once he gets his trading force, he has a great power spike, and then later on, he'll be split pushing the game to oblivion. So maybe Bulldog can pull out the win and take it to game 3.
Yeah, so in this game, even if Bulldogs do fall, even maybe 3,000 or 4,000 gold behind, it's not truly the end of the world, how like it was in previous game. Didn't really have the tools to survive, realistically, but this game here do have the scaling advantage in the side lanes, but of course, if they ever do get forced into a 5v5 situation before a lot of these champions have access to 2 core items, we'll be running into some problems, you would probably imagine.
What
Hopefully.
also worries me is the fact that they don't have an AD carry for sieging.
True, is definitely something you've got to think about. However, you would imagine that Bulldogs probably don't want to be sieging very often.
You just want to be split pushing, I guess.
You just want to be running it down side lanes as much as you can, and having Jax bop away at a tower and Irelia in a state where she's not really too troubled by whoever comes to match her. Whilst Cassiopeia just eats wave after wave in the middle lane and remains relatively untouchable. But when you've got as much dive as the Kled charge, and Shockwave follow up, and an Olaf with Ragnarok, it can definitely be scary.
Definitely can. And I'd like to get your opinion on what Scrunchy has decided to do on this Orianna. He decided to go with Spellbook. What you think of that?
I think Spellbook here is not terrible. You see it a lot when you need summoners to survive a lot of these diving comps. So here, you could have opted for something else, but Spellbook is what he's ended up at. And
That's a nice stun. Yeah. Not gonna have the follow-up for that, though.
not a lot to be had. Gonna just continue farming away here. Just a little bit over a 10 CS lead for Gould in bottom lane. CS leads across the board, actually, for laners. The only real discrepancy in the number itself being the jungle. To be expected when Silas has such a slow early clear compared to the Olaf.
And speaking of Olaf, he's towards his mid lane. Shockwave will connect, but I don't think Olaf was really expecting it.
Yeah, I don't think Olaf was expecting it such an
Through
early
as well,
bar.
flashes forward. Will manage to pick up the kill with one more axe.
Yeah, and you're right. I don't think Electro Athlete was ready for that, but just popped the Predator, ran at him anyway. No flash available from the earlier play that Irelia decided to make underneath the tower, where, I mean, realistically, she shouldn't even have gotten anything out of it. Should have just died embarrassingly, but got the 1-for-1, but pays for it now. Later on, having no flash available to her.
Flash was also expended by Electro Athlete, so I mean it is a trade of flashes, but the Olaf doesn't need the flash nearly as much as the Aurelia would do.
Absolutely not, and getting Irelia out of the lane as much as possible for the Orianna to just give her a little more breathing room is exactly kind of what you want. The kill even goes on to Olaf, so for the meantime he can carry on going and being a annoying Viking. Got there in the end.
Electro Viking.
Electrolyte.
That's his dance though, he does the Electro Viking.
Oh, I'm so uncultured. Okay, alright, today I learned. Alright.
And it's also Electro Athlete, so I thought it would be a nice joke, but you didn't get it.
Cost the by the way. Ah man, I'm sorry I let you down there, but
It's cool, don't worry about
I'm trying.
I was gonna say are you, but that sounded really mean. It sounded like a joke in my head, but then as soon as I was about to say it, I was just like, no, that just sounds
He's
really
like, no,
mean.
wait, no, it just sounds like I'm being really rude. But Olaf, sliding off the Rift Herald as play here onto the middle lane.
Good flash, knocked back on 2 with the ultimate there. And it's just diving for days. We'll find 1-for-1 again. It's just what Disco Dano wants. Every time he dies, he has to give up the kill too.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly discoing it alright. I don't know about.
Ragnarok comes through as well as the charge. Go commit jungle gets over the wall, but Cassiopeia is not meant for this world. Will be taken out. Gould goes down, and that's another kill over to Electro Athlete.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why there's so much hate going over to Scrunchy with so much diving going on, but that play, Gould does end up going down. The response there, the Kled charge, and Viperio will just return back over to the Rift Herald. And I'm not too sure if Bulldogs actually have knowledge of this going on.
Now what they do with the Olaf axe over the wall?
I'd imagine it's probably going over to Viperio. No jungler in sight and base, of course, at the moment. Picking that one up for free.
Unless it can be stolen away by Krog's Expert, but no, will be smited down by Electro Athlete.
You know, he just comes over the wall, just yoinks my Herald now.
We've seen it before. We've seen it happen.
Yeah, we've seen that and way worse happen. So the price here is
Krog's Expert will temporarily be caught out at the top. Decided to go in with the lead. Pops the Grandmaster's Might as well. Kenrudo flashes away. Will lose the mount, but Inko's go commit jungle. Has the shockwave available for himself as well. Flashes forward, and Scrunchy will just about be going down. Pocket pistol so close to taking out Prince of Top. Has to check his health numbers again. Yeah, he was on 10 health.
Yeah, so much going on right there. The mid lane gank, the play going on top, does mean that Viperio get the top lane tower. And of course, top laners, no surprise being top laners in the bottom lane. So, even pretty good of go commit jungle to hold on to the stolen shockwave. So we're going to have that available to him if he finds any use of it. We'll have to find out in the coming moments as posturing potentially to
they're looking
pick up
for
Kenrudo
this
here.
fight. Just got his mount back. Bone Skewer. Wait, he was expecting the jabs, but looking forward to time it. Gets his stun. Popped off. Carl uses the shockwave just for good measure, and Kenrudo should be going down here. Will miss the X marks the spot, but Prince of Top will get the kill credit.
That's one of those things, guys, where if you're the support player, you ask them to not clip that and have no one watch that over again, as Rift Herald's going to be dropped mid. Gonna pick up the entire tower, in fact, so it's a pretty big golden flux.
Frangdays comes out, dodge away with a nice ultimate from the Zaya, but out comes all of the ultimates. There goes Golden from the Olaf just to buy time. He'll be the sacrificial lamb there, and that's 3 dead on the side of Viperia.
Yeah, actually 2 dropping, and still Kenryu coming back from the fountain, but yeah, pretty proactive and solid play there coming out of Bulldogs. Ghoul of all people, finding himself a flank somehow. And I'm not sure how many people he caught in the Petrifying Gaze, but the Irelia roll that followed was big, if not certainly bigger. And the damage was there, and Viperia can't really respond when that kind of thing happens. And those are the kind of scary things that can happen later on in the game. And imagine if items are picked up right there and engaged like that, certainly ends up with more Viperia dead.
I'm not sure if Gould managed to catch anyone in the Petrifying Gaze, because I think it was responsibly ulted by Aether. I'm not too sure. We'd have to get a replay, but we don't have those facilities.
Unfortunately, we don't. I do definitely remember seeing one person stunned up. I want to say it was Scrunchy, but in terms of the actual number, uncertain. Pretty good flank nonetheless, was able to put down damage as see Viperia bot lane and jungler saying hi to Disco Dana.
Yeah, Viperia still seem to feel comfortable in this game, even though they have just shy of a 1,000 gold lead, and it's a nice shockwave. Should find Disco Dana here. One more attack manages to secure the kill. Can they get the blue buff as well? They can.
Oh man, yeah, clean combos.
To injury and the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, and the Ocean Drake just grabbing the cake and eating it too. There's even more now looking onto the tier 2 tower.
Still have to watch out for that Jax split push win condition, as he's getting ever closer to his trading force. Should be able to pick that up on his back.
You'd imagine, yeah, I was about to say, you'd imagine this back will be the Triforce back. Still has the cult also complete too, so he's sitting pretty comfortably. Just taking a look at the gold values of members in the game. Olaf still way ahead, 1,300 gold. Not much in it in top laners. Middle lane, surprisingly actually in the favor of the Irelia. Not by too much, only really 200 gold there. And really big difference in bottom lane. So many plates going over, I'd imagine, to Aether. 1.5k in that department. Not really translating too hard in terms of what you actually see in the inventories of these players, with the exception truly being in the jungle, where Olaf has one whole complete item over Silas's literal none, just the enchantment to his name and some boots.
But you also see the difference between the two teams in the tower difference as well. It's 4 towers taken for Viperia to the none taken by Bulldogs so far, and that's even with the split push trying to happen from Prince of Top. As we say that, he goes in onto Kenrudo, trying to find a lot of damage here. Still has the will pop it, just solos him. That's what happens when you get a trading force.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Triforce spike, man. He's just dealing so much damage, so much attack speed, and so many of the Sheen procs. It's just what makes Jack such a menace, and that matchup is only really going to get worse, especially if Ego Speed decides to opt into the Spear of Shojin as...
Yeah, very well done. Vanguard's Edge comes out, but it's going to be too little too late. Orianna, now the target should go down here. Prince of Top flashes forwards to pick that up, and now they will take this tier 1 tower in the bottom side, and they almost got the tier 1 tower in the mid and top as well.
Yeah, exactly that. So Bulldogs find their first tower on the map right here in the bottom tier 1, and Disco really just playing to his namesake right now. I'm not sure how he ended up right there. In the middle of no man's land, but has managed to, at the very least, get Aether's Olm out, so maybe plays to happen soon. Could find something there. As seeing a top out of, TP, sorry, out of the top laner. There you go. Ego Speed looking to finish off what Disco started in the top tier 1. He does just that, and all of a sudden, Bulldogs actually have 3 towers. Fair amount of global gold influx back into them. Gold lead a little less obvious as
That was smited away by Electro Athlete there, but
Yeah,
still
Olaf.
about 2,000 gold behind.
Still
So
2,000 gold behind. Olaf says, that's my KFC. It's my chicken. I'll be having that.
you're making me hungry. I could go for some KFC right now.
You know, so could I. I haven't had KFC in way too long.
It's been a long
Way
time
too-
for me as well.
Didn't even get the chance because I've just come back off the boot camp from, of course, my team Eminem. Boot camp in London, the gaming sphere. And didn't actually get an opportunity to have some KFC, so I'm pretty sad now thinking about that.
Didn't have some while you were there?
No, we had so much food. Got just about anything under the sun.
Except for
KFC wasn't on the list, apparently. But, yeah.
So 50 seconds now until the next Drake coming up. It will be an Infernal Drake, so both these teams will... One has to fight over this Drake.
I would imagine. I mean, Goldie's
Or
not
they could just
far
give it
enough
up.
between them for me to truly believe that Bulldog would give up a dragon at no cost. I feel like they are a scrappy enough team to take the chance, especially it being the Infernal. So, see them actually having priority right now over the river and even behind the red pit. So potential petrifying gaze if there's enough patience.
Don't worry, guys. No one saw the double control ward.
No,
By
it's
the way.
alright. But Krog's expert.
Yeah.
You get chunked out right there. I'm not gonna be CC'd or anything, but alright.
He's gonna go down here.
Yeah, no, never mind.
A flash away from Gould as well, so now they have to just give up this Infernal Drake to Viperio. That'll help them scale even better into the late game, but look at the top side, Prince of Top.
Yeah,
What
Jax.
does he do?
Jax
Magic
doing what
Wide.
Jax does. Right there. You'd imagine that recall. Just hold the goal for myself. Yeah, he's gonna have the
Yeah.
Spirit Surgeon right now, so
Gonna be fierce.
fierce is one word for it. Scary,
Can
horrifying.
anyone even respond to him at this point?
No.
Not one for one, anyway.
No, plain and simple, no one on the Viperio lineup should be able to actually deal with that Jax right now, so all of a sudden the game state's changed despite the Elemental Dragons being in Viperio's favor. They've really got to worry about this Jax now. If they don't start acting soon, Jax will be in the base, and it's gonna take more than one member to deal with him as...
Or if they keep getting picks like this, and yeah, we'll just joust over the wall, chase him up. Kenruno finds the second kill of the game. So if they can keep getting picks like that, that'll facilitate them being able to go for this Baron. And for the top, it's towards that bottom side, no teleport available, so they start it
Especially
off.
if you look at where the wave was there too, it's not even like Ego Speed Prince of Top is pressuring a tower. As you see, Baron already dropped below half HP.
Yeah, 3,000 health on the Baron now. Ego Speed making his way over. Goku McJungle tries his best to steal it with the Braum ultimate, but Charge comes through. Joust also onto him. Will he use it as the second proc of it?
Oh, hello.
Wave a flash over the wall. Electro Athlete just rolling through everyone.
the
for
Jax.
a double kill. Jax just
Jax.
decimating everyone until he goes down. He just does so much damage. Krug's Expert now has to flash away. That's 4 dead on the side of Bulldog. Now, Krug's Expert, trying his damnedest to take Kenruda out, will remount, so he doesn't really care about taking this tower aggro.
Oh.
Just forward, great drop on rope,
Oh,
knock the neck.
Bye,
but-
Munch.
Yeah, Munch. Questionable there, but okay, Krug's Expert will just survive.
Yeah, just managed to survive, single digit HP, and
3 for
Munch
4.
tanks one too many tower shots, but... No base to be broken, at least on this push, if there's any respite for the Bulldogs lineup, but Baron goes over. It's going to be pretty impactful. You'd imagine, with the current lead, that Viperio would at least be able to break open the base. Whether they get an inhibitor is another question.
Baron will be spawning in the next 4.5 minutes or so. And I'm not sure. Just checking who has the Baron buff. It will be on Aether and Kenrudo. So only
So-
2 Baron buffs available.
At least it is on one of the 2 strong members, I'd say, between Azaya and Well, Olaf is the other strong member, but no Baron buff for him. Kenrira is actually no slouch, so I shouldn't just disregard him, but I feel like this Olaf is maybe a tad scarier at the moment, but that will change momentarily as scaling does continue to kick in. Of course, we are well gone past Olaf's desired 15-minute power spike, etc.
He does fall off a cliff later on in the game. So.
Of course. Do you see there, go commit, stealing away the Orianna Shockwave, so potential big ultimate like that for a turn, especially if it can be converted into more follow-up ultimates. So certainly some factor of wombo available to the Bulldog roster. Seeing on the way pings from both teams on the minimap really shows me that they are just looking for ins wherever they can find them.
Yep, just gonna decide to stick in that top lane for Kenrudo though. He has the Baron powered minion wave, and I don't think Disco Dano can really respond to this even if he tried, so just go back away.
Jax is on his way. If they can actually hold this wave, you'd imagine Viperia really need to hard engage right here. Otherwise, Jax is going to take the tier 2 relatively quickly, and it won't be long before he's knocking on the base door either as Shockwave.
Yeah, good Shockwave, but go commit. We'll manage to get away.
Yeah, and that's pretty big. There you go. There's the dive.
That is the dive that you mentioned, but just gonna push them away from this onto the inhib now.
Yeah, and even looking to stick around here. Of course, Jax still in the bottom lane.
And Bone Screw will connect Ragnaroks to try and get away.
They are taking the trade right now. We're gonna have to chase.
Just to make sure that Prince of Top can steal away this inhib. Out comes the Flawless Duet, in comes the Blade Caller as well. We'll take Disco Dano out. And now they took one down. They lose the inhib in the bottom side in just a few short seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about this cooldock still.
Yeah, this is just gonna end the game. Jax is trying to end it himself. It's a base race, but it's not gonna work for Bulldog. Just gonna buy some time, go from the jungle, goes golden, but Aether, he's in a lot of trouble here. Might have stemmed the bleeding. As he did teleport in, they saved their base just about. Kenrudo just trying his best. Scrunchy focus the Nexus, maybe. Triple kill coming true now for the Cassiopeia. Pocket Pistol will find the kill, but that's 4 for 5.
Yeah, and they're so big for Viperio there that Gould actually dies, because he is the only member at the moment on Bulldogs with a teleport. So had he survived, he definitely could have teleported to the bottom side and just ended the game solo. So Gould, not so much... what's the word? Forethought on keeping himself alive and how much value he could have just had with that teleport. So lucky for Viperio right there. It was certainly a very wonky call from the side of Bulldogs, but almost works out for them. They do end up losing, of course, 2 Nexus towers, but trade it for opposite side inhibitors, and you have to say the Bulldogs having the bottom lane inhib open is actually a much more impactful thing for them as Baron comes up now in around 30 seconds time. Geography of the map, of course.
And all the ultimates start to come back online once everyone has respawned, so might get another 5v5 team fight. Bone Screw will pull him back. Will not use the Ragnarok. Good patience there.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that nothing's really gonna happen.
It looks like Aether and Munch were gonna start off on that Ocean Drake, but it looks like they just want to crack open this mid lane here.
Yeah, I mean, seemed like it, but realizing that Baron is definitely the more important objective they need to be at right now, and pings onto it at the moment. No startup as of yet, but imagine actually looking to bait, it seems like, as realize that they're wasting time. Get going, and oh my god!
Yeah, they're just tearing through it. Mountain and Infernal. Yep, that's all she wrote. It's just gone, and now just gonna push up the top lane, it seems, as a 5-man unit. Because of those go stack.
Riot, we need to talk about how powerful Mountain Dragon is just for a second, but
We
Maybe
don't even
not.
have the time. Prince of Top goes in, but he might be down, and he will be just taken out. And it looks like Hyperio, they're just gonna take the fight. They aren't gonna lose anyone for this. Can Runa now onto Gould. Gould just about surviving thanks to shield from Seraph's Embrace, but he will be forgotten and taken down. And that is Viperio taking the series 2-0, making their way to the final.
okay, got there in the end. Kenro did, of course, had a little bit of an issue hitting Krog's Expert with the bear trap on a rope earlier. Just gonna pick on him a little as Viperio destroy the Nexus and take it 2-0. Will of course advance on to the finals to face Click now. Well, tomorrow, not now.
Tomorrow. Not now. I think we've had enough casting.
I think we've had enough casting. But yeah, I mean, both those games were pretty one-sided in truth.
Yeah.
As soon as Viperio kind of got their hands on the lead, it felt like they never really let up too hard. Bit of a scare with the rage split coming out of Evo Speed, but trade, something they was willing to do in the moment, and definitely could have cost them the game, like I said, had Gould realized.
So close to costing them the game.
Yeah, had Gould realized that he could have TP'd and kept himself alive, because somebody else would have dealt with the Oriana, I believe he was hitting. So, room there for him to have TP'd bot and ended the game, evened it up, but it's not what happened.
And this was the series I expected coming into today that would be the closer of the two. And then the NSG Click series, we went to all 3 games. This one, it was just pretty quick 2-0, but I did expect for Click and Viperio to win the day and go to the finals and then have NSG versus Bulldog. So I'm not surprised at the result. It's just how we got there that I'm a little surprised by.
Yeah, and I mean, if you had nameplates off and we're just going off champion names, you would have thought that the first series was the Bulldog versus Viperio series, and
Yeah.
this one was actually the Click versus NSG. So, very backwards performances from the winners of either series, but claim the victories they did nonetheless.
They did, yeah.
That will be the finals matchup for tomorrow.
And yeah, so we, just to make it clear for those of you at home, tomorrow we will be having 2 best-of-3s. It will be the grand finals, which is Click versus Viperio. They will be first, so that'll be 6 p.m. GMT tomorrow, followed by the 3rd or 4th place match between Bulldog and NSG. So we'll have the 2 series tomorrow. That will be me casting all of the series, and I think I'll be joined by you, Yamada, and Governor for a series apiece, if I'm not mistaken.
A series apiece, or who knows? Maybe we're down for a try cast. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So
yeah, we could try cast for the finals.
We'll look into it. You guys will find out as soon as we go live, I would imagine. So
I'm sure we will. But unfortunately, that will be it from us for today. It was a great couple of series. Ended up having Click pushed to their limits a bit, where they dropped their first game of the season, of the UKEL season anyway. And yeah, so hopefully we'll get banging series tomorrow where we can go to all 3 games as well. I'd hate for Click to take the series 2-0. I want a little bit of competition in my series. And then we'll be followed up by the 3rd place match, or the battle for 3rd place between Bulldog and NSG. So we'll see you guys at 6 p.m. tomorrow. See you then.